And just like that, we are live. Oh man. E Jesus, welcome if you're here watching. If not, well, welcome to this VOD. Okay, so I've never done this before, I'm gonna be honest. I think I made that pretty clear. But yeah, so I really need to get this done, but I really didn't want to go yet another week without a single stream. So, hi New Around, hey! I really didn't want to go another week without another stream, so I just figured, hey, how about I join both things? I'll work on this as long as I don't have my my desktop audio or my audio capture on. It should be okay because hello PPA, good evening. Because while I'm not under any NDAs, it's still a little bit of trouble if I reveal anything about what I'm working on. But yeah, so this stream is just gonna be like super chill. I'm just gonna be typing things out. Like I said in the title, I'm gonna be setting time codes and reviewing the script for dubbing, which, to be honest, isn't a B-movie script to stream. Yeah, no, it's not the B-movie. It would be a little bit late to write the script for the B movie. Didn't that movie come out in like 2007? I could be wrong. But yeah, so I have Adobe Premiere opened, which is where I go get the time codes, and I have Excel because that's what they use to make these scripts. At least in this particular studio that I'm working with. Other places is you know, normal like Microsoft Word. There's even some times where there are some instances in which, for example, when you're doing subtitling, you use the actual program, which I didn't know. I didn't know like the programs that you use for subtitling, like you write the subtitles right on there, like you see them appear as you're working. But yeah, so I am not going to talk all that much, but like if anyone has any questions about, oh wow, oh someone rang the doorbell, but my brother can go get it. But yeah, actually let me check if I... hello, Elmer! Welcome! I'm working for something that you know all too well. What's up, Doc? What's up is that I am well, I have already translated it, but I am working on time coding and reviewing the text for a script to be used in dubbing. That's what's up. Okay, no, I forgot that I need to open the sound mixer, and I am going to mute OBS so that I don't listen to the background music. You guys can listen to it. I can't. I can't listen to the music, otherwise it's going to be a little bit distracting. There's some people who can do this while they're while they're listening to music, and I'm like, I wish. I wish, man. Yeah, no, it's for dubbing. It is indeed for dubbing. So yeah, basically what I do is I'm going through the entire movie, and I'm comparing what's in the movie with what's on my script, and I'm also using that to write the time codes down. Oh. Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. Oh yeah, you're gonna hear a lot of that. You're gonna hear a lot of that. Of me going like, I do that even when I'm not streaming. I should probably... Next time that I do this, I might up the gain so you can actually hear me type and click. Another thing that's a little bit annoying about this is that I used the actual movie script to translate, and then turns out that in between the movie script that they gave me to work with and the actual movie, there are some differences. There's like entire swaths of lines that are not in the movie, and vice versa. So this job it just got a little bit harder. Wait. No. It's 37, not 33. Actually, let me... I do think that I am going to up the gain a bit. Okay, so it's at 6. Let me just... 6. I'm gonna up the gain of my mic so you can actually hear me typing and clicking. Also, I'm not gonna speak too loud. Okay, I think you can hear that. Yeah. Yeah, what's up, Doc? Yeah. Yeah, no, that's what I'm guessing as well. That's what I'm guessing as well. Like it's probably like I don't know, like the second or third pass of the script before what is actually in the movie. Okay. I don't mind doing this, but it is it's a painstaking process. Okay, that was a reaction. Okay. And then there's a lot of stuff that's not like in the script, like, you know, random little reactions and stuff. You know, the those little sounds. But those I wouldn't expect them to be in the script, especially if what you get is the actual script that they used to make the movie and not, you know, something that you would the translating. No, not the translating. I enjoy translating a lot. This part is the one that's more it's more tedious, which is, you know, just going through the entire movie, getting the time codes for every single line and setting them down on the file. Oh yeah. Also, hi Cyanic, how are ya? There's no way the Atari should be able to float. I mean, that depends. That depends. Are we talking about me? Are we talking about the Atari 2600? Like, if you attach a pair of wings to it, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that it can fly. Wait, was that a reaction? Or was it just movement? No. Okay. And then there's also these sounds that you don't know if they are reactions or not. Why not talk about both? Do shamans count as witches? How does that factor into floatability? I don't know. I know that I don't weigh the same as a duck. Hello, Pedrochu. Welcome. Bit of an offbeat stream that we're doing today. Are you hearing things again? I mean, yeah. I'm hearing the movie that I'm I'm hearing the movie that I have to time code. Oh, do you? Oh, and then characters start speaking like one under the other, and it's like, ah, where do I put these? I wish I had like a laptop or just a PC asset. I might order one of those. Let me see, is that in the script? It is a little bit. I did consider whether I should do this stream or not, because man, you can't imagine like how much I want to actually talk about what I'm seeing. Oh dang. Okay. Oh yeah, me too. Me too. That's something that I wonder a lot, actually. There are some eras that are easier to figure out. Like, I can kind of imagine what a Victorian laptop would look like. Like a Victorian or Edwardian laptop would look like. Like, what would a laptop from the Bronze Age look like? From the Bronze Age, from a place that is like kind of Egyptian, kind of Mesoamerican. Awesome, Elmer. Liquid crystals actually seem very appropriate for Atlantis as is. Yeah, 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 indeed. I would need to look. I would need to look into that. Also, to give whatever artist I commission a bit of a visual. Would it be similar to the period-appropriate Mega Drive? I have no idea. There's a period-appropriate Mega Drive. Oh yeah, I've seen this part again. Oh, LCD. Yeah. Okay, okay. The one in my background. I mean, that one is just a plain old Mega Drive. If we can know, what movie script are you reviewing? I mean, yeah, no, that's the point. Unfortunately, I can't really say. I mean, I didn't sign any NDAs, so technically I could tell you, but I better err on the side of caution, especially since things in the dubbing industry have been a little bit weird lately. And I don't really want to risk it. What I can tell you is that it's an animated movie, and it originally came out in 2023. That's pretty much all that I can tell. Oh, and it's English speaking. Yeah. Can you tell us around the time the movie releases? Man. That's a tough one, Elmer. That's a tough one, Elmer. Remember the other day when I said that, like, okay, so I'm also a voice actor. And I said, okay, if you find my voice in the wild, it's fine. Hi, Star Quartz. Hi, Star Quartz. How's everything? Yeah, no, like, basically, okay, so I'm just gonna put this in the clearest way possible so that no one runs into any misconceptions about this kind of stuff. The reason why I don't tell you guys, the reason why I don't say on stream, like, exactly what I am doing is because there are credits online, and if there are credits online, there is a surefire way to know my name. Now, it kind of sucks because on one hand, I kind of wanted to do things a little bit like Sayu, that he's able to, keep those things joined but separate at the same time, if that makes sense. But since I'm still not, that sure about how I want to conduct myself in that space, in this space, I think that at least for now, it's best if I just, give you vague mentions and stuff. And again, if you find my voice out there, awesome. Just don't tell me, just don't come into my stream and say like, oh yeah, I heard you in that thing, it was great, I loved it. And I'm like, awesome, but I'm not sure if I should just openly tell people about that. Yeah. So, where is the original movie English, or is it being localized to English? It's the original movie is English. Yeah. I'll do it in private, as one should. Yeah, exactly. Like, if there's, like, for example, there's a whole Discord dedicated to Portuguese dubs, and, yeah, people know who I am there. People know who I am there, but that's because, I started talking to them, through other means. Like, it was Like, I had already worked in dubs before that. I already worked in dubs before before I joined that Discord. So like so people already knew who I was. Like, they had an idea at least. So yeah, so nothing I can do about that. Although there's usually multiple people working in the same job, but so it would be hard to figure out anyways. I mean, that's true. That's true, but in these lines of work, like for example, if you go to a Netflix show, usually you have the credits, very clearly. Like for example, okay, who did the translation, who voiced who did the directing, if there is directing, because in the studio that I'm working at, there is no directing, which is awesome. So yeah, like if you can trace someone to a particular work, yeah, that's all you need, pretty much. Unless we're talking about like dueling dubs, in which case, okay, if you're not familiar with the concept of dueling dubs, basically dueling dubs is when a country gets two different dubs for the same work, for the same project. And sometimes those dubs may be spaced by dozens of years. Like for example, in Portugal, there's two dubs of Sonic Underground. They share some of the same voice actors, but one was aired originally in 1999, and the other one was made, I think, for Netflix, and I think that it was, I don't know. My guess is going to be like 2014 or something like that. I mean, Elmer probably knows. Yeah, Sonic Underground, Sonic X, some Looney Tunes shorts. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and some other shows as well. So like same language but different country. No, I'm actually talking about dubs that are made in the same country by different studios for the same show. Like the example that I give. There's two conflicting dubs of Sonic Underground. There's two conflicting dubs of Sonic X. So the show was dubbed once, and then some years later, it gets dubbed again, for a variety of different reasons. Okay, those reactions can all be in the same. One thing that I did do in this movie with the translation was I paid a lot of attention to how do people treat each other, like honorifics and stuff like that. Even some Disney shorts were redubbed to update Mickey's voice. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because originally it wasn't Rui Paulo, was it? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. No, I don't think that Carlos Freixo has a very good Mickey voice. I've never heard it, except for one line in the Goofy movie. Okay, do I have that reaction, or do I need to add a line? I hate it when that happens. When there's like random reactions. Like random reactions that are not in the movie. Dang it! Hello, Maiden. Welcome. sit back, relax, and just listen to me yap a little bit while I'm working on this thing. Oh. Interesting to know. Not surprising, though. Yeah, no, that's a shame. I mean, I speak for myself. I don't like dubbing live action too much. But well, a little bit of a secret that I can tell you guys, because like as soon as you know anything about Portuguese dubs, you're gonna know this. Uh, when you dub and translate live action, you earn more than you do with animation, which to me is preposterous. Like, why can't I earn the same amount of money? They should be paid equally. Oh, really? I'm not seeing myself, coffee. I'm not seeing myself. I have the Excel file on top of the on top of OBS. Like I can see chat, but I can't see myself. I only know that I'm there. It would be understandable if the dub of the same language would be a couple of years or a decade later. Exactly, that's what happened with Sonic Underground. Sonic X, the gap was like 10 years. 10 years, like 11, actually. Do you wonder if there's any dubs of the same language in the same country would be made at the same time? That happened in Portugal as well. I think it was with Ojamajo Doremi. Like there was one version that was airing on state TV, and another one that was airing in cable, on cable. Yeah. Never actually watched the Goofy movie, neither in Portuguese and English. If I may, I want to leave here a thorough recommendation for the Goofy movie. It is legit one of my favorite movies of all time. I think that it's very well done. Though there is a thing about the Goofy movie that I don't know. How people nowadays would react, especially if they didn't live during the time period. Because here's the thing, I remember things being like that, like what's presented in the Goofy movie. It's a very 90s movie. It is very much an unintentional period piece, and I love it for it. Like, so, besides it being, a Disney movie that is nostalgic and all that, it's also nostalgic in that everything that it presents is so genuine that it's nostalgic also for the feeling of missing when reality was kind of like that. Hi, Mecha Paul. We're talking about movies and dubs, and I'm trying to work at the same time. Yeah, I guess the live action is more challenging, but I don't know. Was it by the same company? What, the dueling dubs? No, that's why it happens. It's because you have different companies working like in a vacuum, so to speak, and only when stuff comes out like to the public is when you realize, wait a second, these two people did the same thing. But like, studios and channels and stuff, they work very much in a vacuum, like kind of isolated from everyone else. Like nobody knows what anyone else was doing. Yeah, that's the weird part about Winx Club, like, because you think that you're gonna hear one dub, and then you hear another one, and it's kind of off-putting. Unless you're Warner Brothers and ordered redubs of Looney Tunes at the same time for oh yeah. Fun fact about the Goofy movie. Oh yeah, what's his name? What's his name? Oh, fun fact. You know when people mention Skibidi Toilet? Like, I know nothing about Toilet. I am not interested, whatever. But every single time that I see that written, the thing that comes to my mind is, "Come, Tybalt, adventures await, adventure awaits. Skitty, skitty, skitty." Exactly, yeah, Polly Shore, there you go. Skitty, skitty, skitty. That's what I think of. So, yeah. Live action exists, anime fans terrified for life. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, there's a clear divide between these two. He's responsible. Yeah. He's responsible. He should own up to his mistakes. But yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that it's him. I don't remember. I don't think I've ever watched the Goofy movie in English, actually. Which is weird. Which is actually weird. Because most of the times that I watched the Goofy movie, it was in it was on VHS. And it was VHS that didn't have both versions. Like, we did get some VHS tapes of some movies that had both versions in them, but that was not a very common practice, because that usually means that the tape deteriorates faster. Well, not exactly deteriorates faster. It's easier to damage. It's easier to damage the tape. Genuinely don't know. Never watched the Goofy movie. My living room has always been a huge Disney library. Yeah, no, definitely do if you have the time. Definitely watch it. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. Solid 7.5 out of 10. I say 7.5 because it doesn't have, you know, like, technically, and I do mean like as in the techniques used in it, it's not like groundbreaking or anything, but it's just a really good, solid movie. This is such an alpha stream. Stream Atari, definitely one of the Skibidi Ohios. Yeah. Was always dubbed, and thanks to Disney Channel airing it, I recorded. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, were you here when I mentioned that, Star Quartz? You know, Goofy movie is so very 90s, and I absolutely love it for that. Yeah, no, I tend to rate. Whenever I give my ratings of movies, I tend to err on the lower side, because I know that different people have very different tastes, and that way, like, okay, it's good, but like, don't come in here expecting the next Lion King or something. Yeah. How does that happen? How does that happen, Coffee? I have no idea. Again, I don't care. I just even better is that it's. Wait, really? Holy. Okay. It is so. I mean, can't they just make new ones? Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Basically, everything that I am learning about that, about the turlet, is that it's kind of like Gmod. It's kind of like Gmod videos. Oh yeah, no, definitely. Definitely Star Quartz. No, it is. I am really happy that even Disney has acknowledged its existence nowadays. Like I think that Max is at Disney World. Like you, like as a walking character, you can take a picture with Max. I do think that he's in his Goof Troop outfit. I am not sure. Which means that yeah, the Max that you see in Walt Disney World is one that's like I don't know 12 years old. Disney lost their to the animators, yeah, which is dumb. Which is dumb and makes me angry, and I don't really want to talk about it. Oh yeah, yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember the Three Musketeers. It's not a movie that I love, but oh man, it just reminds me. It just reminds me of what could have been. Because okay, so on one hand, I was saving this. I was saving this for the stream for the tier list stream, where I put all the Disney movies on a tier list, and I was thinking of bringing in my brother as well. But there's a thing. Okay, so you guys know The Rescuers Down Under. It's a movie that came out in 1980, and it was preceded by a short starring Mickey, which was The Prince and the Pauper. And I've always loved that short. Like, I've only managed to watch it, like, I don't know, around 10, 15 years ago at the most, at the latest. Okay, Neuron. I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. But yeah. So yeah, here's the thing about The Prince and the Pauper. I love what it is, and it's like an amazing piece of history. But what it also is a reminder that, okay, so there was a time where when they were making, like when they were planning what to do for that year specifically, instead of The Rescuers Down Under, what was in the works was The Prince and the Pauper, but as a movie, or at least something to do with Mickey to serve as like, you know, a celebration. As you can imagine, that fell through. I'm not sure why it was. I don't know if it was like a more of a business decision or if the story just wasn't working out, like they couldn't make, you know, a second act work or something like that. In the end, what happened was they compromised. Okay, we'll make the short and we'll put it in front of the movie that we're releasing that year, which was The Rescuers Down Under. And The Three Musketeers just reminds me of what could have been. Like, if we had gotten a Mickey movie during the Renaissance, during the Disney Renaissance, like that is just one of those things that I'm like, dude, such a missed opportunity, man. Yeah. Let me see if I missed anything. But yeah, I mean, what the Three Musketeers is pretty. It's pretty good, I would say, but like definitely not on the same level as the Goofy movie. I would put it like at like a 5.5. Good try. Oh yeah, Isma sang Snuff Out the Light. Yeah. Wasn't the last time we saw Max, he was in college? Now I'm imagining there are two Maxes on opposite ends of the part, one a teen one and an adult one. Yeah, no, like, they seem to not really know what version of Max to use as canon. I think that the latest one is, that he's in college and he has, his whole relationship with Goofy. Like, I think that's where they crystallized it, pretty much. Um, yeah, yeah, the VHS for Rescuers Down Under. It's one of those that I didn't have it. I didn't have it, but one thing that I still want is, okay, not the Rescuers Down Under, but like the Prince and the Pauper. I still want to see if I can get it like on VHS because it came out on its own in VHS in Portugal. I'm pretty sure it also did in the US and other places. We were going to have it as Disney's 50th animated canon movie. Yeah. The Search for Mickey Mouse. Oh man. Yeah. Oh yeah, D'Artagnan. Yeah, D'Artagnan, the Three Muskehounds. Yeah, no, I know that, of course. Na 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 na. Yeah. Isn't it strange that Mickey Mouse, Disney's most iconic character, is one of the most iconic cartoon characters, does not have a theatrical film yet? I haven't seen The Three Musketeers in the ages, but out of context clips really makes me want to revisit my childhood. Yeah, no, like, that's really one of those things. I think that it's because at the time, like, I think that it's a holdover from the shorts era. Because here's the thing. The characters from the shorts and the characters from the movies were not really meant to interact. The only times that you got characters from the shorts in the movies was due to extraneous circumstances. And by which I mean it was the package films, which were made, depending on what package film we're talking about, they were made either with limited resources due to the war, or also due to the war, they were made as propaganda to ingratiate America to Latin American countries. Basically it was all hands on deck. We really have to do this. we really have to do this. And doesn't matter, like, our standards for separating continuities, throw that into the garbage. We don't need that. What we need is to actually put out something. But yeah, other than that, other than like Fun and Fancy Free, and other than Saludos Amigos, and what was the other one? The Three Caballeros. How did I forget the Three Caballeros' name? I know why it is. It's because in Portuguese it's a caixinha de surpresas, which has absolutely nothing to do with the Three Caballeros as a title. But yeah. What other thing? Oh, right, and then there's Fantasia. But Fantasia, again, kind of counts as a package film because it's multiple shorts, quote unquote. So yeah, they did a Three D'Artagnan in 3D as a movie around 2020, around the 2020s. It was really bad in comparison to the animated version. Yeah, no, I know about that. I think that one of my acquaintances voiced in that. Or even two of them? I don't know. I'm not sure. Yes, I know, Elber. There's also the DuckTales movie. I mean, yeah, but again, that's not part of the Disney animated canon. We're talking about Disney animated canon. And theatrical releases, because there's not everything that was done by Toon Disney went to theaters. Uh, I think it was only DuckTales and the Goofy movie that actually went to theaters, and DuckTales kind of bombed, which was a shame. Fantasia was such an amazing project, especially for the time. Like, that was ambitious. Like, I don't like Fantasia all that much. Like, I don't like watching it, but I admire it a lot. I admire it a lot because, like, man, can you imagine pitching a project like that in the late 30s? Like, how the heck? How the heck did that even, like, cross anyone's mind? Is there a Disney animated non-canon? Basically, anything that was not made in-house by Walt Disney Feature Animation, now Walt Disney Animation Studios, is not canon. So basically, stuff like a Goofy movie, stuff like DuckTales, stuff like the sequels, stuff like Mary Poppins, which does have parts that were animated in-house, but it's also a live-action movie. The Disney animated canon is animated. You don't get, like, you're not gonna get like something like the Lego movie out of the Disney animated canon. Other than, small little bits of filmed footage that are supposed to bring in, they're supposed to frame the segments. And again, that only happened in like Fantasia and Fantasia 2000, which are kind of package films, and in the wartime package films. So yeah. And that's like Night on Bald Mountain sticks with you. Oh man. Like in 2010, I decided to make a Disney animated canon marathon, and I kid you not, I was busy, so I wasn't able to watch Night on Bald Mountain like when I wanted to. So like I had to wait 2 days, and in both of those 2 days, I had nightmares. I legit had nightmares about Night on Bald Mountain for 2 days straight before rewatching it. Yeah. Evil Kingdom Hearts where Mary Poppins teams up with Dragon Quest characters. or just characters from the sequels. Yeah, no, that was amazing. Star Quartz, yeah. Figure it may be too troublesome, but a movie about all the non-canon sounds interesting. Yeah. Don't forget Pixar being a separate beast. Exactly. Like, Pixar is also not part of the Disney animated canon, but it is under the Disney umbrella, which is why a lot of times people go like, oh yeah, the Toy Story is my favorite Disney movie, and I'm like, no, no. Toy Story has more in common with the Brave Little Toaster, almost, than it does with Pocahontas, which is what came out during that same year from the Disney animated canon. What in Wizard Mickey nightmares? Oh yeah. Goofy movie Kingdom Hearts World When. Oh man, wouldn't that be? Oh dude. I mean, I'm just imagining Sora just like traversing through Spoonerville, like. Oh man, and feeling like totally out of place. First for being a hairless monkey, and then because of his clothes. Because come on, how the heck? How that's not 90s fashion. That's not grunge. But yeah, no, Maiden. I think that was because that was mostly because I had already had a time where I watched part of Fantasia, and I just happened to catch Night on Bald Mountain, and I was scared. I was scared stiff by it, as most kids are when they first watch it. Like, I think I think that when I got to Turnabog in Kingdom Hearts for the first time, I actually like I didn't scream and walk out of the room, but I was kind of shaking. I was kind of shaking while I was trying to beat him. Because yeah, it was kind of visceral. There's a joke that Kingdom Hearts is just Goofy's old D&D campaign and he's telling Roxanne. Oh my god, I love that. I love that so much. Funny enough, when I was very young, I believe that Chicken Little was Disney's only CGI movie, and then the rest were under Pixar but no longer had their names on the posters. I was a dumb kid. No, like, I don't think that you would be in. I don't think that you were like too far off, because for a while that's what people thought. Okay, so Pixar and DreamWorks are the ones who do 3D. Disney is the one that does 2D. I mean, that is until 2003 when they pretty much closed down the animation department. Like no, the Florida animation studio that was situated in Walt Disney World. Actually, like, there was a time where you could actually go to Walt Disney World and see the movies being made because the studio was legit there. Like, Mulan was made there, Brother Bear was made there. But yeah, like, but you know, the whole thing of you know how people say that Pixar killed 2D animation? They did and they didn't. Like, in my opinion, like, on one hand they did. On one hand they did kill it, but on the other hand it wasn't their fault. Pixar killed, quote unquote, 2D animation because they knew how to tell a good story. Like, their stories were good. Like, and they were not, you know, just chasing Oscars like Disney was at the time. Because the latter part of the Disney Renaissance is pretty much defined by that. Like, Disney got so excited over the prospect of being nominated for best picture with Beauty and the Beast, then they started chasing that. Chasing that nonstop, and you can see this because I do believe that the first movie that went into production after that happened was Pocahontas. Before that, you already had Aladdin in production. You already had The Lion King in production. And lo and behold, they're considered some of the best movies of the Disney Renaissance, if not Disney in general, especially The Lion King. But yeah, that plus the power struggles that happened because Frank Wells died. That pretty much spelled not the end for Disney, but the end of them trying to them putting more emphasis on telling a good story than trying to make it grand and meaningful and all of that. I mean, good art is meaningful by itself. You don't have to force it. That's why, for example, something like The Lion King flows so effortlessly. Whereas something like Mulan, for example, feels a little bit more try-hardy. I'm not saying that Mulan is bad by any means. I'm not saying that. Mulan is a very good movie and its themes still resonate to this day. But there is a distinction between what Disney was doing pre Lion King and what they did afterwards. Like, pre-Lion King, do you think that a movie like The Hunchback of Notre Dame would have gone into production? And again, I am not saying that the rest of the Disney Renaissance is bad. I'm just saying that there is a certain magic, a certain effortlessness that was present in the first Disney Renaissance movies that was kind of phased out. Like, the Tarzan is also a good example. But yeah, I think I missed some chat. Sora and Max defeating Pete. Oh yeah. Oh, Lilo and Stitch. Yeah, it also was made in Florida. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Brother Bear, also very underrated. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Man, I wish I could go to all the Disney parks one day. Like, I have a priority list. It's almost like all of human culture loves a good story more than who or how it's told. Exactly. Yeah. And the Pocahontas was the priority and not the Lion King. Yeah, no, like the Lion King was literally made by the B Squad. Like the Lion King was supposed to be like, okay, let's keep the other guys busy while we're working on the important one. And lo and behold, poof. Yeah. That's an amazing point. I think it was a mix of the excitement of emerging technologies and also for the fact that CGI movies back then were just better made compared to Disney's 2D post. I mean, yeah, like in the story department and the characterization department, definitely. Like it was just a matter of Pixar being in the right place at the right time, and Disney facing their own hurdles. You know, like if you look at Disney's output during during the 2000s, you can definitely, and if you pair Disney's output with Pixar's output during that time, the differences become clear. Pixar was still very much, just doing whatever they wanted, and Disney was still trying to chase that. And you can see that when they tried to chase a trend with Chicken Little, like. And Chicken Little, like, I'm so sad about Chicken Little because it was, like, directed by Mark Dendal, who's one of my favorite directors. I still haven't watched the Garfield movie, the new one. I still have to get on that. It was directed by him. Mostly because he directed The Emperor's New Groove and Cats Don't Dance. But the story is just not good, man. Okay, new round, bye. Bye. No, that's okay. That's okay. I might not stream. I might not stream tomorrow since I did this today. So like to dedicate the entire day to just powering through this, so that by Sunday I'm done, and then next week I can finally get back to like a kind of regular schedule. Oh man. Yeah, Disneyland Paris. That one is like that one is like legit the closest to me, like closest to both places that I frequent. It's both close. It's like it's the closest to Atlantis, and it is close to Portugal. So like, what's my excuse? And I know what my excuse was for the longest time is that like my dad didn't have any interest in going there, so we never went. Anyway, there was a time. Speaking of dubs and stuff. Okay. There was a time where I thought that oh man, there was a time that I thought that Disneyland was in Brazil because every single thing from Disney that I watched was in Brazilian Portuguese. So of course Disney is in Brazil. Disneyland close to Atlantis. Coincidence, maybe. It's almost crazy to remember that Toy Story was almost ruined because of Disney's chairman requesting it to be edgier. Woody's personality especially. Yeah. But Disney's chairman, are we talking about Michael Eisner? Was he the one? Oh wait, no, I get it. He's also the one who took his teenage son to Walt Disney World to ask for like input on how he should better the park. So yeah. Lilo and Stitch. Oh yeah, like when Lilo and Stitch came out, I was already at a point in my life where people were going like, "Oh, you can't watch cartoons anymore," and I mean, time travel shenanigans and all that. Okay. But yeah. So I don't think I enjoyed it as much as I would have if I was an actual kid when I first watched it. Oh, Jeffrey Katzenberg. The guy that left because Michael Eisner didn't want to give him Frank Wells' position. Yeah, that one. Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised? Because Jeffrey Katzenberg was even more cutthroat than Michael Eisner. I mean, if anything, you could argue that Michael Eisner sometimes was a little bit too much of a softie, because softie in the corporate overlord sense, you know, because it's my way or the highway. And what I say goes, and who are you talking about? I am the CEO. To this day, I still say that Michael Eisner lived long enough to see himself become the villain, because he's the reason why we got the Disney Renaissance to begin with. But on the other hand, yeah, okay, let me just put it like this. When one of your theme parks opens up with an attraction like Superstar Limo, you have to rethink what you're doing, man. And I don't know where I saw most of what I know about Superstar Limo, but if you search for it on YouTube, like, I think that one of the videos that you might get is from Defunct Land, which, by the way, is an awesome channel, and I haven't been catching up, and I haven't been caught up with it for like a year, almost 2 years, and I need to get on that when I can. So yeah, no, maybe it's a good thing that he was ousted, even though it still was quite a bit after Superstar Limo. I mean, as far as I can tell, Disney's California Adventure nowadays is a lot better. But yeah. when I get to go to California, I do want to go on a pilgrimage to the site, where Superstar Limo was. A Defunctland watch along would be fun. Oh yeah, dude, that would be fun. That would be a lot of fun. Yeah, no, I never thought of that. And I mean, okay, so we can do like a watch along. Like, I'm not gonna do like, I wouldn't do like a react content kind of thing, but I would have like, a counter, like a time counter, and we could all watch it at the same time. Yeah, no, that would be so cool. Giving old Kevin some views, huh? Yeah. Oh man, I remember a horror video completely based on Toy Story and how they wanted it to be edgier. Spoiler, it ended like most bad horror stories. So nothing new then. Can't botch this. Can't botch this. Yeah, no. No, I think that the Eisner era of Disney is very much akin to the Attitude Era of wrestling. Like, it was a magical moment in history that will never be replicated. And if you were there to experience it, well, awesome, you have all these memories. If you weren't, it's still an amazing story to go back and learn about. One of the few things Bob Iger did great was getting Oswald back. Oh yeah, no, I remember feeling like so alone and thinking, oh yeah, no, Oswald was a thing. Why don't people remember it? Oh man, okay. You just reminded me of a story. Okay, so some years back, actually it was like around 5 to 6 years back. Oh wait, no, it was actually 7. It was 7 years ago. Holy crap, time flies. But yeah, around 7 years ago, I did a little bit of an internship at a bookstore. It was where I learned most of the stuff that I know about books nowadays. Specifically, like, publishing stuff and all of that. And I had like 2 semi-co-workers. Again, I was just an intern. I had two semi-co-workers who were kind of into, conspiracy stuff, on the sense of like making fun of it and going like, haha, see, this thing isn't as clear cut as you think. This thing isn't as happy as and fun as you think it is. And once they knew that I was like, an animation fan, and that I liked Disney specifically, like, remember, okay, this was like right after Moana came out. So yeah, we were kind of riding high on the late 2010s Disney semi-renaissance. So yeah. Yeah, it was before Frozen 2. It was before Frozen 2. Oh no, better yet, it was before Ralph Breaks the Internet, which was, we're not gonna talk about that there. I'm gonna save that for the tier list. Which I think that whole stream is going to be like a whole afternoon, because I don't think I can talk little about each movie. Like, but okay. So, as I was saying, so yeah, those two coworkers, they were, like, ha ha ha, funny. And one of the things that they showed me, again, once they learned that I was a Disney fan, they went like, they showed me a video which was on one hand, it was obviously doctored, like, and this was 2017, like, no deep fakes or anything like that. So a video that was obviously doctored and edited of Walt Disney drawing a pentagram and then drawing Mickey on it. And this was supposed to convey that, oh hey, Disney is satanic, Disney is really bad, you shouldn't watch Disney, blah blah blah. And and my first reaction, first off, if you know anything about me, you know that I don't subscribe to any conspiracy theories. I think that it's interesting to entertain the ideas, but I'm honestly of Alan Moore's opinion, which is like, no one's in charge. No one's in charge. Everyone's just doing their own thing. While he thinks that is terrifying, I don't really. I think that it's actually liberating. Yeah, no one knows what they're doing, so don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. They show me that, expecting, I don't know, some kind of reaction from me. And the first thing that I asked was, okay, so how about Oswald? Was he made like that too? And they didn't even know who Oswald was. And I find that is one of the most common things to happen with these things. Like, when people try to bring in all of this stuff to like shock and amaze you, and then you beat them down with facts and logic and history, and they're like at a loss. No one's in charge, but many are trying. Yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, no, Oswald is still pretty obscure, but he's nowhere near as obscure as he was, like, in the early 2010s. Come on. Thank you, Epic Mickey, for educating me on Oswald, yeah. Yeah, will your tier list have an E rank? Probably. Even if nothing goes in it. I think that it's only fair that I have an E rank there. Speaking of Disney theories, who's taking a trip to Disney Discovery Island? I don't know. Like that, what that reminds me is of what like Futureland or whatever it's called, Tomorrowland, was supposed to be in Disneyland Paris, and that makes me sad. Like in Disneyland Paris, the Tomorrowland was supposed to be all around, I think you could call it steampunk. It was going to be all based on Jules Verne's works. So yeah, kind of steampunk, kind of. And I think that that would have been a lot more interesting than what we got eventually. So yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Star Quartz. I just read your thing about Iger also acquiring Pixar and it being a double-edged sword. Yeah, 100. Yeah, 100%. What's your favorite Disney movie? Huh. That's an interesting question. Okay, so I think that okay, if I have to say one straight away, it's The Lion King. If I had to say just like one straight away, like right here, it's The Lion King. Hello, Funtime Freddy Kichigo Fazbear. Welcome. I should be working. I mean, I do have a thing for Atlantis and the Emperor's New Groove. That is 100% true. But as movies, like okay, so my favorites, my personal favorites, I would say, like okay, if I have to say like a top five, let's see, not necessarily in this order, but I would say The Lion King, The Great Mouse Detective, Moana, uh, and okay, top three are definitely those. Then it's kind of a toss-up between a bunch of them because like okay, so I love Atlantis, I love The Emperor's New Groove, I love oh man, why am I drawing a blank? Why am I drawing a blank? Ah, I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. I hate that I'm drawing a blank. I was thinking of a movie and then it just poof. Lilo and Stitch. I also love Lilo and Stitch. The Little Mermaid. Yeah, there you go. So yeah. I think that those five or six are my favorites. Are my favorite Disney movies. Then there's a lot. Then there's other ones that I also like. I love a lot, but I don't know if I would call them like my favorites. Like The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Treasure Planet. It's a little bit hard for me to say like any of the pre-Disney Renaissance ones because with those movies what happens is that I look at them and I see a lot of artistic merit in them, but I'm not like but they're not exactly what I look for in a movie, and part of that may be because of cultural differences, or in this case temporal differences. But I liked Sleeping Beauty a lot. I love Sleeping Beauty as well. They're actually making an Oswald TV series for Disney Plus. Ah, of course, of course. I have a Disney fan in the chat noticing Atari's design. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. I mean, yeah, I don't make any secret. Like the inspirations behind all of this design are mostly Mesoamerican. I'd say Mesoamerican, but like the actual term would be like Mayinca, which is like a mix between all of those because the Incas were not Mesoamerican, they were Southern American, so yeah. um but yeah, and I think I mentioned this, yeah, and Egyptian, but yeah, like DreamWorks kind of took that. I mean, still doesn't mean that we can't get like a Disney animated canon movie set in ancient Egypt. I would absolutely love that. My problem is maybe first fix your storytelling problems before you attempt it, because man, I really don't want a movie like that to be like on the same level as Strange World. Oh man, Treasure Planet, yes. Which makes me like Treasure Planet is one of those stories that really makes me sad because it was one of the biggest box office bombs for Disney. And it really had no business being. First, it was a passion project that was, I don't know how many years in the making, at least 10. At least 10. Basically, the Knuckles Tribe inspirations. Ah ha 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 ha. You got me. You got me. Yeah. Yeah, no, because we can't forget that, like, when they decided to base a running stage on Knuckles, they basically went Egyptian in Sonic R. So yeah, it's also there. It's also there. But yeah, no, I think that Treasure Planet was a movie that was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like at the time, people still weren't used to the idea of Disney not making musicals because everything in the Disney Renaissance had been a musical to some extent. The first movie that wasn't was The Emperor's New Groove. And well, The Emperor's New Groove, I've talked about this before, but it had a very strained production cycle. It was not very it was a rough road. It was a rough road. I'll just say that. I'll just say that for now. Though I am fascinated to know, like, what would have happened? What would have happened if we had actually gotten Kingdom in the Sun? Like, would the Renaissance have kept going? I mean, no, Dinosaur was still in the pipeline, and that would have still put a dent on things. So, because yeah, like Dinosaur counts as a Disney animated canon movie, and for a long time I refused to acknowledge it. But no, that's how it is. Treasure Planet was a bomb because Disney executives tried to kill it. Same reason Transformers 1 was marketed so badly, even though it was a really good story. I want to watch Transformers 1 so bad. I even asked my local movie theater if they were going to get it. And they told me, like, yeah, probably not. Because when I asked them, the movie was still in theaters. Now it's already out. I kind of lost my chance. My hope is that I can either, like, import it or that it comes out, like, on Netflix or something. It's hard for me to say as what my favorites are, but in no particular order: Hunchback, Treasure Planet, Lilo and Stitch, The Lion King, and maybe Wreck-It Ralph or Aladdin. Yeah. Yeah, no, Wreck-It Ralph is such a good movie. Like, I think that people sleep on Wreck-It Ralph a lot, especially nowadays because Ralph Breaks the Internet kind of tarnished its reputation. But man, Wreck-It Ralph is so good. Again, it's not. Again, I can't count it as like my top 5, one of my top 5 favorites because man, I like a lot of Disney movies, but dude, it's just it's amazing. It's amazing, like the story, the setting, like the fact that they got all of those licenses, like Disney using its power, its money, its clout for something cool, for something awesome. Dude, that was man. Truly something that, I don't know, it's going to be very hard to replicate in the future, I believe. Because, like, what other companies could do something like that? What other companies could, you know, have, like, Sonic, Eggman, Zangief, Plock? They even impressed Nintendo with Bowser holding the cup. Yeah, like... Yeah, Bowser is there too, and Bison. Oh man, Wreck-It Ralph was good. and then the fire sequel attacked. All the Wreck-It Ralph nations lived in peace until the Breaks the Internet attacked. Oh man. The Internet Nation attacked. Well, it didn't attack so much as Ralph invaded it and proceeded to break it. And in the process broke himself as well. Wreck-It Ralph really is one of those movies. No, not Wreck-It Ralph. Ralph Breaks the Internet really is one of those movies that when you first watch it, you don't really think much of it, but then you look back and what the implications of it are, and then you'll go like, oh no. Oh no. At least for the barely marketed movies nowadays, word of mouth can really help the movie a success. Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what attacked Star Wars. That's definitely what attacked. My experience with Wreck-It Ralph literally was, oh hey, it's Sonic there. Let's watch the movie. Goes out of the theater. That was cinema. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of weird how they're just there for a few seconds, but it works. I mean, yeah, no, because they're there for a very specific reason, and a reason that, like you said, it works. They were there to set up the tone. Like, the movie wouldn't land as well if everything was original properties. By having those real world properties in the movie, it helps sell the idea that these games that we're going to focus on can be viewed in the same light as we would the properties that exist in our world. And I think that was very clever. That was very clever of them. Also, no need to beat around the bush like what happened with Roger Rabbit. Okay, so if we're gonna use Mickey and Bugs Bunny in the same scene, they have to have the exact same amount of screen time down to the frame. And I'm like, okay, cool. So you're basically limiting us a lot on what we can do with them. So yeah, exactly, the Winter Saint. Exactly. In other words, Wreck-It Ralph was darker than you thought it was. I think that's, you mentioned that when I was talking about Wreck-It Ralph. No, about Ralph Breaks the Internet, specifically. And it's not that it was darker. It was, well, the implications behind it were darker. Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm pretty sure that they went like, Nintendo, hi. Can we use Bowser for a thing? I mean, it's okay if you say no. Like, we can just get, I don't know, a Bubsy or something. They can just get Bubsy. And then Nintendo was like, oh no, sure, go ahead. And they're like, what, really? Oh man. Oh yeah, I agree, Elmer. I agree. Unfortunately, that was before Sonic Boom kind of set what the Portuguese voice actors are in stone. So yeah, no, we got a Sonic that sounds very strange. Like Mario was mentioned, but I'm not sure as to how they could show Bowser, but not Mario. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. Wreck-It Ralph is gonna have Dr. Wily, which we now know thanks to a D23 screenshot, but he was cut for unknown reasons. Even Disney did the Blue Bomber dirty in the 2010s. Oh man, the downward spiral for Mega Man, that was the 2010s. Strange, isn't it? Yeah. Well, Bubsy would definitely work for... Yeah. What could possibly go wrong? Hey, if you go turbo, what could possibly go wrong? Yeah. No, there were... It was amazing. Oh, speaking of D23, so apparently a while back there was this clip circulating of a supposed Atlantis live action remake, and I've done some digging. I've done some digging, and apparently it's fake. Which, on one hand, shame. On the other, I kind of like Atlantis being kept as an animated movie, Though, to be honest, it is one of the movies that would work as a live-action movie. Like, out of all the Disney movies, I think that definitely is one that, you know, wouldn't work too badly. There's not much like too out there in Atlantis, the movie, that cannot be like like replicated in live action. The problem is just, you know, okay, so we're gonna make this live action thing and it's just gonna be actors on a bunch of green screens and everything else is gonna be CG generated. Okay, cool, dude. Cool. Are the clothes gonna be CG generated as well? Nah. Yeah. Yeah, no, they would. They would. Bubsy would be the main villain of Ralph 3 as he is the mascot of legendarily bad games. Oh, dude! Oh, okay. Okay, imagine if they did Ralph 3 and they pulled a Scooby-Doo live action movie at the end in which, like, okay, so there's this villain who's like an all-encompassing, like a terrifying dark overlord of some sort. And then it gets revealed that it's actually Bubsy. Man, I would love that. I would absolutely love that. Like, just gather the IPs. Just gather the IPs of a bunch of, you know, games that are known to be bad and have Bubsy be their leader. But you don't know that it's Bubsy. And I'm not even making like, oh, make a twist villain like the original Wreck-It Ralph. No. Don't make it a twist villain. Make it just so that we don't know the identity of who it is. Also, write it so that even if we don't know who Bubsy is, it still lands. You know? Because that's a thing. That's a thing that I keep seeing, like with especially like with referential humor, of which I'm also kind of guilty of. I do a lot of referential humor. But here's the thing about referential humor, and here's the thing about writing, that sort of thing. You have to think about what people who have never heard of this are going to feel. What are they going to get from this? If like the timing still works, if it's still funny, even if people don't understand the reference, then it's fine. If people 100% need to know the reference, then maybe go back to the drawing board because this can be better. Dark Lord of Destruction, Bubsy. It's my world now, Ralph. I'm Bubsy. Yeah, exactly. It's funny because it's humor. References alone aren't humor. Yeah, like look at my room. Like my room has a bunch of references, but my room isn't supposed to be funny. It's supposed to make people go like, "Oh yeah, I recognize that." But it's not supposed to, you know, be funny. So it works. Peter, remember the time? Yeah, no, that Beelzebub's. Amazing. That was awesome, Cyanic. You also had that Chip and Dale movie with the ugly Sonic design. That's almost the movie equivalent when thinking about it. I mean, yeah, it is. I still haven't watched that movie. I haven't had time. I legit haven't had time to watch the Chip and Dale movie. So it's been on my watch list forever. Bubsy, the Destroyer of World 8-4. Oh man, 8-4. That's from Super Mario World, isn't it? Wait, let me see. Okay, if I could see Bubsy, Cheetah Man, and Ninja Bread Man in Ralph 3, my life would be complete. Oh, dude, same. Oh man, what wouldn't I give for like, I don't know, like even a passing mention of Cheetah Men. Like, oh man, I love that so much. Holy crap, Lois, this is worse than the time I played Sonic Frontiers or atariyeo. He wouldn't shut up. He wouldn't shut up about Archie comics. I don't even know what an Archie is. Peter, that's the character from the funny strips. You know him. You know him. He's been around since forever, since before we were born. Actually, when were we born? I don't know. It's been changing ever since, you know, Brian died. The most important thing, though, is that the film should work without references. Otherwise, you just have Ready Player One. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, and again, circling back, that's why Wreck-It Ralph worked. It's because, yeah, it was, it had a lot of references, but if you didn't get them, it was fine. You could still enjoy the movie itself. So just the AVGN movie with the Just Bad Games series by Ferris. I mean, probably, and with a larger budget, because this is Disney we're talking about. Like, say what you will about them, but at least the animation is usually. I've heard some things about Wish that I still want to confirm for myself, but usually the animation is on point. Like, for example, one of my least favorite movies from the Disney animated canon is Strange World. But one thing that I will never leverage against it is the claim of it having bad animation. It does not, and anyone who thinks that is either blind or arguing in bad faith. Oh, yeah, no, okay, I get it. Star Quartz. I would be so absolutely stoked if they did that. Because yeah, no, say what you will about Cheetah, man. The theme is awesome. The theme rocks, dude. If you have Bad Games Ralph 3, we need the AVGN in there. Oh yeah. Yeah. Not the Nostalgia Critic though. I mean, the Nostalgia... Well, I mean, what is the Nostalgia Critic's contribution to, like, video games? He made that one bad Let's Play of Bart's Nightmare. Like... And that's it, pretty much. People who hate Strange World because of the animation are either blind or homophobic. Yeah. 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 And I'm like, no. Like, if anyone goes like, oh, you hate Strange World, you must be homophobic because they because of representation and blah, blah, blah. No, not at all. I don't like Strange World because the story is super weak and the characterization is as well. It has absolutely nothing to do with it having representation of a marginalized group of some sort. It has absolutely nothing to do with that. I just think that the movie is very, very weak, and that it having that representation is not enough to make it better. Because those are touchy subjects for a lot of people. But yeah, no, I just think that Strange World is a very weak movie. Has nothing to do with that. You could remove it. Like, if you remove that part from it, it would still be a weak movie. Like, The AVGN saves everybody through beating the shit. It looks like ass. Obviously would be accompanied by Bugs Bunny. Yeah, wait, no, wait. No, that would mean that they would have to ask Warner Brothers for permission to use Bugs Bunny. Would that be able to happen? I mean, Warner Brothers isn't like the best company to work with. I mean, shocker. I mean, what about Mickey from Mousecapade? What was Mousecapade? Yeah, exactly. Cyanic Maiden. Yeah. I feel like that too. Like, why can't we have both? Why can't we have like good representation, but also a good story? Why do you have to sacrifice one in the name of the other? Like, because that's not a zero-sum game, guys. Like, you can have all the representation that you want and still have a good story. Like, unless you're saying that when you have representation, you can't have a good story. And I think that tells me more about you than it does the criticism. That is a whole other can of worms. Oh, wait, Mousecapade. Oh, wait, Mickey from Mousecapade. Yeah, from the game. Yeah. Oh my god. You know what I remember from Mickey's Mousecapades? The Game Grumps playthrough. The Game Grumps playthrough where like Aaron is just like, I think that he was, yeah, that's what it was. He had watched like a whole bunch of angry video game nerd wannabes and was just like imitating them throughout the entirety of the Let's Play. He was like, what is this chair? What is he in a hurry on? To get sit on? What is this? Angels? I don't want religion in my game. Oh man. Like the entirety of that Let's Play is just Aaron going off like that and Danny just having a laughing fit because it's like... Oh man. Oh, probably. It was banned in a few places specifically because of that whole, you know, how can I put this? Okay, there's a character who's like gay or in the very least bi, and he's one of the main characters. And that was enough for the movie to get banned in some places, I think. So yeah. Yeah, no, like, I do think that overcorrection is definitely a problem, because, like, out of fear of offending someone, they neuter themselves to a point where they have really nothing meaningful to say or show, you know? Like, what they have to say or show are, like, the absolute most milquetoast things, unless they go all out, like some games that shall not be mentioned, and I don't think I have to say anything about those. So, yeah. Yeah, but I don't think Spain would ban it. It was Spain? Spain banned Strange World? Okay, hold on. Huh? Oh, right. Right. Yeah, no, like, it was released while COVID was having a resurgence, but let me check. Strange World film. A movie? Where's the movie? Where's the movie? 2022 Disney animated film. Okay. Releases, theatrical. Okay. Despite being theatrically released in most regions, Strange World was not released theatrically in some regions. Due to Disney's opposition to local regulations regarding theatrical windows, the company announced on June 8th, 2022, that Strange World would not see a theatrical release in France and would instead go straight to Disney Plus in the region following its theatrical release in other regions. Region. Deadline Hollywood reported that Disney pulled out for a theatrical release in 20 countries, mainly the Middle East, Africa, South Asia, Russia, and China. A Russian release had already been pulled due to the ongoing invasion of Ukraine. No surprise there. While Disney opted to exclude release in other regions due to the inclusion of a gay main character, Ethan Clade. This was done to prevent those regions' censorship of LGBTQ+ references, as the main storyline in the film revolves around Ethan having a crush on another boy called Diazo. Okay, see, here's the problem. His crush is like his crush is not even like a big part of the movie. It's just there. It's just there. Like, it's not even like a big factor. He could have a crush on a girl and it would have the same, and it would have the same weight. Like, what? Okay, now this definitely stinks of some people making a big deal out of stuff that just shouldn't be made a big deal out of. Weird. But yeah, no, I think that part of it was still because of COVID, because it was having a resurgence during that time. And then there's, this. I mean, I don't know about Spain, but Portugal is also like this. Like, they banned Sailor Moon Crystal Season 3 because of the lesbians, while they aired the original Sailor Moon completely uncut, only with some blurry parts in episode 200, because, Sailor Moon's kind of naked in that one. But yeah, so like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Portugal, but Spain, really? And now I've seen that France also did it, so I don't know, man. Yeah, no, I know what you mean, Cyanic. I know. About the people who are not that good with stories, but yeah. But yeah, no, I keep saying, like, it's a shame. It's a shame that I have to put it like this, but the way that things are now, like, someone like me, for example, who does not, have any classical training in anything, I wouldn't get anywhere, and that's probably for the best in some cases. But Atari, the original Sailor Moon, had cousins, not lesbians. Right, they had lesbian cousins! Yeah! Yeah, no, it did. It did. Like, it was all dubbed. It was all dubbed and ready to go. But then it got pulled because of certain groups. You have to understand, like, Portugal is still very backwards when it comes to a few things. Like, we're still, like, I don't even know how to describe it, because on one hand it's like super, like, progressive and stuff, but there's other things that, like, we're still stuck in, like, we're still stuck in pre-end of dictatorship times. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. I mean, okay, so I'm just gonna say this one little comment, like, the far right has been gaining some ground, so I guess that comes with it. Yeah. Not necessarily. Education often purposely trains students wrong these days. I mean, yeah, that's all. Yeah, no, that's also a problem. But that's a topic that I have nowhere near enough information to actually comment on. So yeah, I hate that Disney intentionally sabotaged the marketing of Strange World because of its representation. I mean, okay, that is something. Regardless of the quality of the movie, no project should be lessened of exposure because of harmless representation. I mean, you're right. Yeah, you're 100% right. I still think that the movie would have bombed, even if it had proper marketing, but because of it, because of it not being very good, because of it being very, very, but at least it would have been given a chance. Not that I think that it would have used it. Again, movie is super weak. Like, I'm never going to defend, like, Strange World to the ends of the earth, because, again, like, there's better movies out there. Do they have representation? Maybe not, but I think that they deserve the spotlight a little bit more. That's been most countries, however. Yeah. I remember people revolted. Yeah, I think it was that. It was that, Maiden. Yeah. hear this a lot from architecture students who want you to, study architecture, but aren't taught the foundations of classical architecture. Yeah! Like, how the heck are you going to learn if you don't, like, okay, there's this quote by Isaac Newton that I absolutely love, and like, I think that Isaac Newton was a bit of a nut, like, personally, but he was a genius. No one can really deny that. But yeah, and what he said is that something along the lines of, if I have gotten as far as I did, it was because I was standing on the shoulders of giants. And people forget that those giants don't come out of nowhere. They don't just show up one day and show you the way. No. They are giants because they became that. Like, they were once normal people like you and me, but they learned from those who became from those who came before them. And it's always been, like an incremental process. You can't just tear down everything and propose an alternative if it hasn't been proven that the alternative does work and that it doesn't create any possible ramifications. Like, there is a case to be made for when things stagnate, but that's when you need innovation. Like, none of these industries like exist in a vacuum. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm rambling a little bit. Representation a good movie does not make. A good movie equals good representation. Exactly. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Alexander the Goat. For some things. For others, not so much. Not so much the pillaging and killing and all of that. I wish the right went back to what it was mainly about, individualism, at least in the US. The right was fighting for civil rights. Yeah. No. Now it's more about, okay, no, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna go into that. I don't want to compromise. I don't want to compromise myself. Okay, I'm just gonna say this one thing, and then I'm gonna change. Then I'm gonna change the subject. Yeah, no, nowadays the right is more about gatekeeping things from certain people. And those certain people can be a lot of different people. I'm not just, it's not just targeted at just like one particular group of people. It's targeted to many different groups of people. And that's what they are building their brand on nowadays. The us versus them mentality, which the left is doing as well. So I think that, yeah. So yeah, we're not gonna talk too much about that anymore. Nah. I'm done. Classic, I want a 5 years experience employee for an entry-level paying job. Yeah, exactly. Nah. Stuff is complicated. And then you also add into the fact that sometimes the corporations, the enterprises in your own country don't pay as well as the others from other countries who are expanding into your country. So yeah. How did this stream become about politics? It was supposed to be about me setting time codes. It was supposed to be about me setting time codes and reviewing lines. What the heck happened? Flashback to that one time that I was playing Kingdom Hearts and the conversation turned to the Cold War for some reason. I mean, I guess them's the breaks. That's what I get for thinking about a lot of things. I'll start with Sonic Control. Oh my goodness! I freaking. Oh man! It was that far back. Holy crap! from reviewing lines turned into reviewing life. Yeah. Yeah, it did. Oh wait, no, I remember now. It was because of Strange World and the whole representation, it being banned in certain countries, and it not being very. 11 minutes of stream, and this happened. Wait, has it really been that long? Holy crap! Oh dear. Yep. Yep, it's been an hour and 52 minutes, as far as I can tell here on my OBS-y. Oh man. Okay. I think that it's plain to see that I can't do working streams. I get distracted talking. What I do need to do is more Zatsus. What I do need to do is more Zatsus. Oh yeah, by the way, that reminds me. Okay, since we're still on the topic of like Disney and stuff, I am currently in the process of buying The Lion King for the Mega Drive, which, going by how things are progressing, I think it's going to be the first Mega Drive game that I play on stream. But that is 100% okay by me. It is a game that I have a lot of nostalgic attachment to, and it's going to be my excuse to also talk about the dub of the movie. I want to see if I can get the input of some people who are actually involved with the dub, because the Portuguese dub, I should point out, because as Elmer said, like, you know, way back in the stream, yeah, The Lion King was the very first movie that was dubbed in European Portuguese, and the road to get there was rocky, to say the least. Just to quickly say that I admire the attention to detail you say you put into your localization, such as how you said you're looking into how people breed in that culture. Oh yeah, yeah. No, I do care about that. I do care about that a lot. I think because, you know, that sort of thing adds so much to a localization. You know, like, for example, one of the things that I did talk about is, you know, the whole distinction between T and V that happens in pretty much every Latin language, and also happened in Germanic languages, but they have pretty much, but English has pretty much dropped it, because yeah, like the U that we usually use was meant to be like for multiple people. It was meant to be the second person, the second plural. It was meant to be like the plural of you know, just one person that you're addressing. Ironically, it happened. I think that this is also what happened with Brazilian Portuguese. It happened because people just realized, oh hey, just having one word for everyone is a lot easier. Like, whether you're talking to just one person or a bunch. Yeah, no, I believe you. I believe you, PPA. So yeah, the ironic thing is that the first person, so like the informal version, was the in English, and the is now like a surefire way to tell if someone is using like old-timey speak or not. It's just, you know, the these and thous, you know, thee, thou. Yeah, thou was supposed to be the same thing as you, but just for one person. So yeah. Now we have to say you all or y'all, to be clear. I mean, we all have to cosplay as Southerners. From, hey y'all, how's everyone doing? I am here from Southern Atlantis. Just gonna mosey around the neighborhood for a little bit. What are they talking about? Yeah. Ever updating cultures are so confusing. Yeah. And half the time they use it wrong. Oh, yeah. That's a classic. That's a classic as well. But yeah, but like in Portuguese, that distinction still exists. So, in fact, okay, I'll try to explain it like, very, very briefly. Okay, so we have tu, which is you, but, like second person singular. Second person singular, you. Second person plural. Vós, or you. And that one is usually used for like old-timey speak or like extremely formal speak. Like most people only ever hear that in religious settings. Either in religious settings or if you're from a certain region of the country where they still use that on a regular basis. Like I've had a couple of teachers who came from regions where that was still used, and it was kind of awkward, but they didn't think anything of it. So yeah. I was surprised you said yap as well. Oh yeah. There's two U's. Yes, exactly, because one is what in English used to be thou. Vós poderíeis explicar este assunto? Poderíeis fazer o obséquio? Poderíeis fazer o obséquio de me explicar esta situação? Obrigado, bem-aja. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, like slang is super like slang goes like super fast nowadays. Like I find myself using words that like 5 years ago I would have never thought about using them, and then I went like, what would I have said if it was like. Yeah. I'd like to know why English got rid of it. I have no idea. Wait a second. Somebody gets tired of the modern way of talking. Basically, they say screw it and talk Shakespearean. Yeah. Yeah, I wish I was more familiar with Shakespearean talk, to be honest. Okay, you spoke PT, I know that voice from somewhere. Provavelmente. Há coisas que eu fiz que já estão a dar. E outras que ainda não deram. The English were so polite that they forgot the less formal one, and ironically how you is informal. Yeah, exactly. That's what that's what happened with Brazilian Portuguese as well. Like, except with them, it wasn't with the second person. It was with the third. It was with the third person. Like, for example, in Portuguese, like if you want to be formal but not overly formal, you usually use the third singular person. Like, because you're addressing someone as you would like Vossa Mercê, o Senhor, something like that. And those are in the third person. So yeah, the Brazilian Portuguese just basically cut the middleman and just treats everyone as você. And if you use tu, I have no idea what that phenomenon is called, but yeah. Yeah, we still have the third person, but yeah, exactly. They use tu as we use você, which is kind of like in a more informal way, but pretending to be formal. You know, like, mas quem você acha que é? Tá para aqui a armar-se? Tá para aqui a armar-se em cão com pulgas? Eh. When you think about it, back then talking was incredibly complex, and now in the present, the way of talking is either butchering the terms or not even using words to communicate. Ah, yeah. Informally formal. Yeah, exactly. Por acaso o senhor poderia dar-me uma indicação? Again. Por acaso o senhor poderia fazer o excelentíssimo obséquio de me dar uma... Z is third person plural and it's ordinarily polite. Yeah. Yeah is second person plural and extremely polite. Yeah. There we go. But yeah, no. And that's one of the things that I do keep in mind when I translate. Like, okay, so what is the hierarchical hierarchy? Hey, yeah. Why can't words? What are words? What are words, man? Okay, hierarchy. Oh my goodness, what happened? Hierarchical. Hierarchy. Oh my god. Everybody in the chat talking and demonstrating multi-language terms. Me. Nani? Omae wa mo shindeiru. Nani? Omae wa, kimi wa, anata wa. Hierarchical. Yeah, no, like my tongue just went like, yeah. To be fair, no, like I didn't even record yesterday. It was the day before yesterday. What the heck? Weird. But yeah, no, like I was saying, I have to be mindful of the hierarchical differences between people. Between people, like the people that are speaking. Just to give you an idea, while I'm reviewing this text, one of the things that I have done is I've changed the way that a character addresses another. Like, I changed it to be a little bit more polite. Because at first I had them treat the other character as like you, as an completely informal you. But then I went like, I don't think that she is that impolite. Especially since this is someone that she doesn't know yet. So yeah, no, I did change that. Oh, and it's a character that's much older than she is, so yeah. much older. So yeah. I'm a bit of a grammar police sometimes. I hate when people are speaking Portuguese, but for some reason use Brazilian grammar structure. I cannot compute that. Me neither. Me neither. Look, I'm gonna tell you something. Okay, so I work at this tea shop, right? And one of the things that kind of annoys me is that so remember when I mentioned that, there are enterprises, there are companies who are opening up places in other countries and paying them better than the native companies. Tale as old as time. But yeah, that's the case with the company that I work for, because the company is not Portuguese. I'm just gonna say that. So yeah, hello Kirako, welcome! I think that I'm actually just going to go until like 7:30 because yeah, I ended up not working all that much. I only went like, how many minutes did I go through? 3. But now I'm already used to what this script is going to throw at me, so I'm gonna be able to do it faster. Besides, I still have tomorrow. I just really didn't want to risk not doing a stream this week. But yeah. What work did I do? Time coding and reviewing the text for a script to be used for dubbing a movie. Basically, an animated movie. Tale as old as time, true as it can be. Disney still creeps on the stream. Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to really power through this. But again, I think that I can do it. I think that I can do it. But yeah, as I was saying, so we have these banners. We have these banners in the shop that, well, we didn't make them. They were sent to us by, you know, by HQ. And since we deal in tea-related products, we also have a whole little section dedicated to the Japanese tea ceremony. One of the things that we sell is matcha. Thank you, thank you, Kirako. That was part of the inspiration. I would say it's more like Inca tech, you know, Maya, Inca, Aztec. That sort of thing. But yeah, Native American definitely plays into it. I mean, hence the feathers, I mean, I hope that nobody has like any issue with that, because my base for this was actually okay. Remind me to go back to the other talk, but okay, so these feathers here, you know what inspired them? Remember Sonic Adventure? Amy gets a power-up that's called the warrior feather. I've always loved how that power-up looks on her, so I was like, oh hey, I wanted to incorporate something that looks like rabbit ears into my design. So I thought of that and I was like, what if I do that, but kind of like what Native American headdresses, you know, the simple ones, not, you know, the big fancy ones that are reserved for like chiefs and people who are really important, like, you know, just a simple one. So yeah, I decided to join those two concepts, and gave me these feathers that the idea is for them to look a little bit like rabbit ears, because of the rabbit goddess, you see. Rabbit goddess from the moon. Because yeah, moon rabbits. Apparently that's a thing also in Aztec mythology, and I had no idea, and I was so happy. In short, it matters Portugal, hierarchical and mineral. It's really it's really surprising it can rhyme with Mother General. I completely botched the rhythm there. I loved her feather. I have no idea why, but as a kid, it was always, heck yeah, the feather's back on replays. Yeah, that was me too. That was me too. Moon rabbits are universal. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the things that a lot of cultures can agree on, is that rabbits are from the moon. Or that there are rabbits on the moon. But yeah, as I was saying, so we have that little part dedicated to the Japanese tea ceremony, and if you know, like in Portuguese, like in European Portuguese, we have a thing that when we accentuate certain syllables, we use a normal accent. Like a normal accent. Like for example, you change an o into a a, for example. So for ceremony, the word is cerimônia. The thing that we have in our store says cerimônia with one of those little hat accents. You know, that. What usually people use for arrows. But yeah, and that comes out to when you use that in the same word, instead of the other accent, you get cerimônia, which is how you spell it in Brazilian Portuguese. A bit like Monica and Monica. Exactly like Monica and Monica. Yes, exactly. So yeah, and the banner in our store has the wrong accent for the language. What I'm going to guess is that since the company isn't Portuguese, they just went like, oh yeah, they just went like to Google Translate or something, and Google Translate defaults to Brazilian Portuguese. So yeah, that's what they got. that's what they got. So yeah, this is the first time I've heard of moon rabbits. If you've watched Sailor Moon, you've heard of moon rabbits at least tangentially. Ah. 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 In Super Mario Odyssey. Yeah, I guess. yeah, exactly. Yeah, Super Mario Odyssey. Yeah. Yeah, because like Sailor Moon's name, like her civilian name is like her name is Tsukino Usagi, which is literally a moon rabbit. And rabbits go home and Toho. Yeah, no, like the moon rabbit myth is all over the place and in a whole bunch of different cultures. And apparently it's also in... Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's two ways. I've also kind of wanted to do that, and I wanted to watch the episodes that I'm missing because when I was a kid, I watched a lot of Sailor Moon, but like when it got to the end of R, I think that my schedule changed, so I wasn't able to watch the rest. So like I missed the entirety of S, Super S, and Stars when it first aired. So I kind of wanted to go back and rewatch the whole thing. I actually bought a Sailor Moon tape, with the first 3 episodes from Japan like a couple of months ago. There comes a point where you can't see anything, but you can hear it, so you can still get to hear Kotono Mitsuishi's voice. There's 2 ways you can go about that, Star Quartz. Take it from someone who has attempted it before. You have, first, before binging Sailor Moon, you have to decide whether you want to just watch the relevant episodes, just the plot relevant episodes that you absolutely need to understand everything, or if you want to watch the entire thing. Because Sailor Moon, as a magical girls show, it has a lot of filler, and it's not really like, for example, Cardcaptor Sakura, in which in each episode she captures a card, which means that that episode is important for continuity. Like, everything is important for continuity in Cardcaptor Sakura. Except for the stuff that is anime only. Hi, Maylene. You are a great character. Why are you anime only? Yeah, and I just say this because Sailor Moon, like I said, it's 200 episodes long. It's a lot, so I would advise anyone who wants to binge it to like either really commit to the 200 episodes or make a selection. Or make a selection of what is actually like important to you. Like if it is like the story, for example. Like I remember, like especially Super S, I think it has a lot of filler. Like in the first season, it's kind of hard to tell the filler apart from everything else because you never know when something happens. But again, growing pains and stuff. In Super S, there's a lot of legit filler. Same thing with Stars. Like, we didn't really need an episode focused solely on the guy who made a pendant that Ray just happens to have now, and it's relevant just because of this episode. Oh yeah, no, I'm like that too, Kirako. Which is why I advise people to do it this way, because if you don't have the time to kill, it can become a little bit stressful. Hi, I beat pandas. Sailor Moon does a bit of waffling around. Yeah, exactly. Like I think that Sailor Moon R has an entire filler arc, but it's a filler arc that I like, so I never put it to the side. when I watch it. Yeah, no, Elmer, you're right. You're right. Like, yeah, One Piece fan looks at Sailor Moon and someone going like, "Oh man, I can't watch this. It's like 200 episodes. That's too much." And they go like, "Weak." Yeah. At least it is in One Piece. Yeah. There you go. O macaco Luffy. Oh, and like that one time that Rogério Jacques messed it up and said Luffy instead of Luffy. Okay, I have to put a pin on something, but yeah, I have seen some Sailor Moon episodes, but only the Deke dub. Also, would it be better to watch the original or Crystal? The original, 100%. 100% the original. Crystal has a lot of issues like related to animation, specifically like the character models. Like they're not the best. They're not the best. Like the original, in my opinion, is a lot better in a lot of different aspects. Like they took what was in the manga and put it in a more digestible way. I'm not saying that Crystal doesn't have its merits. It does. But for me, the original is to me the original is even better than the manga, if I'm allowed to say that. Detective Conan watchers. Dude, Conan should be an adult by now. I mean, yeah. He should have been an adult twice, even. Also, Kirako. It's my favorite anime. It's my favorite anime of all time. So yeah, I guess, you know, par for the course for an Atlantean to be like, oh yeah, no, you know, my favorite anime is the one that has Atlantis in it. Big surprise, right? How's that for representation? Actually, no. Atlanteans in my universe are not aliens. Were they aliens? Is that spoil? Yes, I think it is. I think it is. I think it is spoilers right now. Yeah. Conan and Ash Ketchum. I think that, I mean, Detective Conan started later. No, it started earlier. Well, your hunch was correct. And Goten. Wasn't Goten allowed to grow up at one point? I seem to remember like a clip of Goten like answering the phone, and he's an adult, and he goes like, "Yes, this is Goten." Like, if anyone wants to watch a shortened One Piece anime, there's always the 4Kids dub. I mean, yeah, nothing. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the 4Kids dub. What do you mean? What do you mean? Gotta go. Ash even celebrated a lot of anniversaries, so he is not 10 years old. I mean, yeah. Oh, man. Pokemon is like a whole... like my brother would say, because he tends to misappropriate expressions somewhat. Superhero and End of Z, Goten is grown up. Oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, like I said, to quote my brother, that's a whole another can of beans, I would say. Because... okay, so the Pokemon anime's history has always been a little bit weird. It's always been a little bit weird because there was this time where they decided, okay, no, we want to keep things consistent, and by making things consistent, they made them worse. Like, for example, when they made up that there was somehow another Mewtwo with the same backstory, except for the parts that made the other Mewtwo, like, you know, a compelling figure, and just use them like that. Just ignore the fact that there was already a Mewtwo, and that supposedly in the anime verse, Mewtwo is like one of a kind. And that I'm pretty sure that's the same mindset that dictated, oh yeah, no, Ash has always been 10 years old. No, I'm an anime boy, which is different. An anime boy being piloted by a girl, slightly different. Isn't that other Mewtwo also female in some dubs? Yeah. I mean, in all of them, I believe. If they went with the original. If they went with the original, because, yeah, like, even in Japanese, she had a voice actress. But Mewtwo is artificial. It wouldn't be hard to believe another one was made. Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't think that anyone would have minded there being another Mewtwo if, one, they explained it properly, two, acknowledged that the other Mewtwo still exists, and three, gave her a slightly different backstory than the one they already gave to Takeshi Shudo's Mewtwo. Oh yeah, and that's if you don't count the Mew 3 from Pokemon Live. Meat Mecha, yeah, I guess. Yeah. Mewtwo 2, yeah. I mean, yeah, no, you're more correct than you think, Frank. You're more correct than you think. I should have been working, but instead I've just been blah 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 blah. Meet Mecha, so Attack on Titan. Mew 3, yeah. Yeah, from Pokemon Live. Everybody's about Mewtwo, but what about Pikachu? Yeah, everyone forgot that Pikachu existed, and Meowth too, as well. I wonder how they did Mew 3 in Portugal. I was either just months. Oh yeah. You can already hear the fanfic writers shipping Mewtwo and having a family. I mean, yeah. And then they find out that they lack reproductive organs, and that can't happen. So they just resort to another test tube. Did Pokemon Ranger also make a Mewtwo? I have no idea. The Pokemon Ranger games, they had fallen like outside of my radar for the longest time. I don't know a lot about them, but I wouldn't put it past them. But the games are a little bit. Everything about Pokemon is weird in terms of continuity. I mean, you're not the only one, Maiden. I mean, you can't see them, but I have a lot of bruises. Because my depth perception is terrible, so I keep hitting things with my legs. Oh yeah, Pikachu. There was a Pikachu clone in the first movie as well. Pikachu 2 appears in some games. Wait, does he? Like, if normal Mewtwo, you know, Takeshi Shudo Mewtwo, like, I know that they distributed a Mewtwo that was supposed to be the movie Mewtwo at some point. I think it was 2019. It was probably for, you know, Mewtwo Strikes Back Revolution. Interestingly, it had a quiet nature. Which I find funny. Okay, so you can tell what kind of foods he would like. I think that's so cute. I think that it's so cute that we know, thanks to that distribution, what kind of flavors the movie Mewtwo prefers. He prefers dry flavors, by the way. If we go with you know, the Pokemon contest logic, which makes sense. And he doesn't like sweet flavors. Actually, that makes, okay. Like, I was just you know, just saying this, like, because I didn't understand. Oh, why did they give him a nature that decreases speed? And then I went like, wait, no, Mewtwo is very like. He's very grown up. He's very adult. He's a very adult character. So, it would make sense in a Japanese stereotypical mind that he would not like sweets. Because in usual Japanese thinking, people who like sweets are either kids or, well, women. Quiet minus speed, trash to competitive reset. I don't think that he cares about whether he's good at competitive or not. But then again, unless he was actually playing the games himself, I don't think that he would care. Thank you, Frank. Thank you. But yeah, by the way, yeah, Kirako, what were you saying? Like, what VHS did you have? That I think that I kind of lost the plot on there. Okay, you said, as a kid, I had a VHS of that episode rented. I really wanted to make the most of it, so I watched it like 5 days out of 7 and got sick of it pretty quickly. Ah, yeah. Now, like, that story is also very familiar to me. I also did that with a bunch of tapes. Trick Room Mewtwo, let's go! Yeah, no, actually, yeah, that's a thing that you can do. Thoughts on Mega Mewtwo? Okay, so, Mega Mewtwo. Okay, so there's 2 of them. And, oh, the episode with Mewtwo. Ah! Like in the original run of the show. Like Indigo League. Right? Or are you talking about the movie? Oh, Mewtwo Returns! Mewtwo Returns! Yeah, that one! Okay. Yeah. I've only watched that one like a couple of times. I think, like, just once, I think. And I don't know if it was in Japanese or in English. I do have a DVD of it because it didn't come out in Portugal, but it did come out in Spain on DVD. So yeah. Yeah, there you go. Wait, no, if it was Mewtwo Returns, then it was already Johto. It was already in Johto. In between. Oh man, I don't remember if it was before or after the Celebi movie, but it was around that time. Fun fact, Ash was actually intended to permanently die in the first movie, but that idea was scrapped. Funny enough, I think one of the guys who worked on the Pokemon movie also worked on this magical girl anime called Minky Momo, which is infamous for one of its last episodes having the young girl protagonist being run over by a truck. That was Takeshi Shudo. I've already mentioned him. He was one of the major forces behind the original Pokemon anime, like the Indigo League. He stayed on board until, like, I don't know, like the last episode that he worked on was the Slowpoke episode in Johto. But yeah, he also worked on the movies. By the way, they butchered his baby Lugia, because Lugia was meant to be like a motherly figure. So it was supposed to be a she, and then they went like, oh no, we're just gonna get Koichi Yamadera to voice him. He was like, what? Him? What the heck? But yeah, no, that was Takeshi Shudo. He was a very interesting guy. I gotta say. He's also the one who came up with the whole thing of Dr. Fuji only taking in the Mewtwo project because he wanted funding to clone his daughter who died. You know, Amber, or I. And then Mewtwo and I get to know each other. While they're in the tubes, they communicate telepathically. And then I dies. And Mewtwo almost goes on a rampage while he's still young and small. And they pretty much erase his memories of it, so that he calms down. But, you know, the seed is still there, and that's one of the things that makes Mewtwo so compelling, is that, you know, he has this backstory that not a lot of people know about. So, yeah, and that was all from Takeshi Shudo's mind, which is, I don't know what happened. Oh, wait, no, she was run over by a car, actually. Like, in the radio drama, it's actually what happens. Also, yes, Star Quartz. Is that a surprise? Did you not expect it? pretty sure they added a second Mewtwo was because there were two mega forms, a masculine form and a feminine form. Yeah, no, that would have made sense. That would have made sense, except that they completely botched it. Like they completely botched it, because if they wanted to have that, they needed first to tell the audience, this is not the same Mewtwo, this is a different Mewtwo, but the other one still exists. Because like they pretty much did the first one but completely ignored the second one. Because yeah, no, they were like, oh yeah, there's a Mewtwo over here. And then you're left with the question, like, wait, does the other one still exist? And they don't answer. Like, they even have Ash reacting to Mewtwo, the second Mewtwo, as if he knows her. But the Mewtwo that he knows is the other one. What sense does that make? Like, Dr. Fuji and Professor Gerald Robotnik would get along great. I mean, yeah. I still haven't read the diary in full, nor have I played Sonic Shadow Generations, because I want to do that on stream after Frontiers. But yeah. Oh, you know what? Best of luck to you. Best of luck to you, because like that's something that I also wanted to do. Like, maybe not the entire thing, but you know, just the Indigo League, just relive the Indigo League. What language are you watching it in, by the way? I tried to watch it in Japanese just to have like a consistent experience throughout the entire thing, because the Portuguese dub went through some changes while it was airing. Some of them I really didn't like. So yeah. Yeah, no, I am a Pokemon fan. Oh, by the way, that reminds me. Maybe I should actually talk about that right now. The 4Kids dub. Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. Because you didn't have the whole thing of, oh, let's change voice actors just because of scheduling conflicts or whatever. I was so surprised the concept of death was actually mentioned. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I know, but I still have issues with how their scripts are, Elmer. Like, Cinemagica, like, they have a very good philosophy, but their scripts aren't the best, unfortunately. Like, they still feel very stilted, very academic, you know? Very, I have a translation degree, but I don't have contact with the language in any other settings other than academic. Oh, that is really cool. That is really cool, Nilok. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. Like, Shadow was made by Gerald. Gerald was the one in the driver's seat when it was, you know, when Shadow was being made, when his personality was being developed. So, yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. And that Star Quartz is also thanks to Takeshi Shudo. He's the one who made the Indigo League what it was. As in, you know, like, the Pokemon enemy is very cheerful, but if you look at it, you can tell that there's always this underlying aura of darkness. Like, yeah, things are cheerful, things are happy, but there's also a lot of melancholy to it. Like, and that, I think that's one of the reasons why it resonated with so many people at the same time, because like you could be in it for the cute monsters and the cool fights and stuff, but there was something else about it that, you know, when you're a kid you can't put your finger on what it is, but it keeps you engaged. Kind of like, you know, how Digimon was explicit with its I'm not gonna say themes. I'm not gonna say themes, but like with its tone, like Digimon was explicit with its tone. Pokemon was implicit. And that's why when people say, "Oh, Pokemon or Digimon," I'm like, dude, both of them have their merits. Like, especially if you think about them as, you know, kids entertainment who, you know, actually makes you think a little bit more. I mean, the whole first movie of Pokemon is about the meaning of existence. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? This is for 3-year-olds. Hopefully we can get to Shadow Gens without everything getting revealed somehow. I know, that's one of the reasons why I'm so frustrated that I can't, you know, just play Frontiers as much as I want. Because I know that eventually I'm going to see something that is going to be a spoiler for Shadow Generations. But I really want to finish Frontiers before Shadow Generations because I feel like some things are going to be, you know, put a little bit in context. So, yeah. So yeah. It felt somber in a way that many kids' shows and cartoons didn't. Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. Bye Bye Butterfree still resonates with me, and I'm only just starting to become a Pokemon fan, or at least attempting to. Yeah, no, Bye Bye Butterfree was was a gut punch. Pokemon Forever and Heroes legit made me sad as a kid. Yeah, no, like I think that for the most part, I think that the movies are a very good way to get acquainted with the franchise, with the anime at least. Like one of my favorite movies in general is indeed like Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. That's the 8th Pokemon movie. And I still think that even if you don't know the Pokemon franchise, you can still enjoy it as a movie, like legit. But yeah, speaking of Pokemon, one thing that I have been thinking of doing, think of this as a mild announcement. It's not really an announcement. It's just something that I plan to do in the future. Okay, so remember, I have said a couple of times that I want to do a Pokemon marathon. I want to go through each mainline game from each generation. Well, when I say mainline game, I do mean like mainline game, as in the games that originated the generation. Because if I say mainline game, then what about Arceus? Like Arceus doesn't really fit into this. It's part of the 8th generation. The OST especially resonates so much. I'm not sure if that was on 4Kids part or the Japanese's part. It was both. 4Kids did make their own songs for a few things, but you also hear a lot of the Japanese score for the show. As for the movies, it really depends. Like, because after some point, they stopped doing that. Like, the money dried up, I guess. Atari's not gonna stream Pokemon Go every day? No. No, not both versions of each generation. No, I'm gonna pick the one that I played, either growing up or already as a functioning member of society. But yeah, so basically, yeah, I would play Pokemon Red, Pokemon Silver, Sapphire, Diamond. Black is the one that I haven't played yet. Probably the first time that I would play it would be on stream. Which, if I'm thinking of doing the thing that I want, I think that I'm gonna have to ask for some help from someone who actually played the game. So yeah, for those streams, I'm probably gonna have a guest. Then Y, then Sun, then Shield, and now Violet. So yeah, those are the games. Those are the games that I'm going to play. And what I'm planning to do. That's a very good question, Nilok. Because I haven't told you the other half of it. Because on one hand, yeah, I want to do a marathon of all the games. But it's not just going to be a marathon. It's going to be a Nuzlocke marathon. And I was thinking that I could implement some rules for myself. The first rule The first rule is I'm always going with the water type starter because Atlantis. Alpha Sapphire is a remake. If I play Alpha Sapphire, I also have to play Fire Red, and I also have to play Fire Red and Heart and Soul Silver. So yeah, so like I could play those as well, but yeah. So basically, once I lose a Nuzlocke challenge, it resets. Like it resets as in I go to the next game and I consider that a loss, and I want to see like how many games can I clear. how many games can I clear under these conditions? Alpha Sapphire has plot relevance to Y and others. I mean, yeah, no, like, I mean, okay, if we're going by that logic, like what is, plot relevant, then yeah, the list changes a bit. So yeah, it would also include, the remakes, probably Arceus as well. Yeah, just wondering, do the third versions of some games, such as Yellow version or Platinum, combinations of the original two releases, or is it its own thing? Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't usually count third versions because what I usually want to see is, a time capsule of when the gen was released. So the third versions are already like an optimized version of what was like the original intent. I mean, yeah, kinda like that, PPA. Yeah, I get it. What Pokemon is best for someone who wants to get into the series? That's a very good question. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna finish. I'm just gonna finish what I was saying. So yeah, rules. The first one, yeah, I always go with the water starter. That's one of the main rules. Second, and I'm not sure if this is an actual good idea, which is just go with Pokemon from the region that the game is set in. So basically that means that if I start a game in Silver, I can't have PGs. I can't have Spearows, I can't have any Pokemon from the first generation. They all have to be Pokemon from the second. So that rule in Nuzlocke, where only the first Pokemon that you catch, that you find in a route, that you can only use the first Pokemon that you catch in a route, like the first Pokemon that shows up. Sorry. But it has to be Pokemon from that gen. So basically, if I go into a random route in Sapphire and I find a Vulpix, can you even find Vulpixes in Sapphire? I think so. And if I find a Vulpix on my first run through Mount Pyre, I can't catch it. It has to be a Pokemon from that gen. That's the challenge. That's the challenge. Gen 4 and Gen 6, I think, are going to be the worst ones when it comes to that. So yeah, it's going to be hard. Can you even Nuzlocke Arceus? I mean, technically you can, but I think that it's super hard. I think that it's like Nuzlocke but on steroids. Had a similar idea for a joke stream where I play every Mario game until I die once and then move on to the next. Oh yeah, that's also I thought of doing that, but with Sonic games. But I gave up on that very early on because the way that I enjoy Sonic is not really like that. But I could see that working with Mario. Yeah. There is no bad point of entry. Yeah, no, that's the thing. It depends. Okay, so how many modern conveniences do you want? Like, do you want all of your Pokemon to gain some experience in every battle? Yeah, no, I think that's the main question. Do you want to have to train all of your Pokemon individually, or do you want everyone to win some experience points from every battle that you do? Because if it's the former, then any of the pre-Gen 6 games, well, including Gen 6, and before that, any of them are pretty good. If you want, the experience share, if you want the experience share between all of your Pokemon, then Gens 7, 8, and 9 are better. Okay, let me see. That is a really interesting restriction. Makes you have to think more strategic as to who you want as your de facto gen party. Yeah, exactly. That's... Hi, Lupa! Robert! Yeah, no, like, Gen 3 would have, like, there's a reason why Gen 3 got, super better. Like, Gen 3 was already, in my opinion, one of the best gens. The only thing that it was missing to be the best was the physical special split. I firmly stand. Again, keep in mind, the way that I play Pokemon, and maybe I'm kind of digging myself into a hole here, but the way that I play Pokemon is kind of semi-casual. Like, I don't really calculate IVs or EVs or anything like that. I usually go with the first nature that I get, unless it's something that actively hinders the Pokemon. Like, for example, a route with a nature that decreases special attack. Like, that's bad. Okay, a female route, because I just remembered that Gallade exists. It also means it's going to be easier to get the stronger mons, though. I mean, yeah, no, I know that that's one reason. I know that that's one reason why the rule kind of exists. It's so that, you have to fill your party with whatever the game throws at you, not what you choose. Like, for example, you wanted to get a Pikachu in Viridian Forest? Well, too bad. You get a Caterpie. But yeah, no, but I do think that this restriction, like, especially since, a lot of... Every region has their own common mon, so I don't think that I'm going to run into, like, having an overpowered team all that soon. There's also experience all in Gen 1. Oh, okay. Then I guess that the difference is if you want to have to actually go look for it, or if you want the game to just give it to you. Oh, 6 has experience share as well. Okay, then generations 5 and before that. Atari gonna pull off a salty DK then. Okay. I am going to be completely transparent about this. Salty DK Dan and Jaded Animations are my major inspirations for me wanting to do this. Like, legit, I don't even follow anyone else who does Nuzlocks. Before them, the only Nuzlocke that I had seen was, I think, from Pro Jared. I think, this before there was, that whole campaign against him. Poor guy. But yeah, I still remember the legend that was Nuptup, the Vileplume. The funny thing about Nuzlocks is that a lot of times you learn how natures are not as important as you think. Yeah, no, exactly. Which is why I don't really care that much about them. Like, I'm not playing Pokemon to be, like, competitive. I just want to imagine myself having an adventure with my Pokemon pals. So yeah. Had a Crobat with plus special attack, minus attack nature, but I put her on my team anyway because of the time I checked the nature. By the time I checked the nature, I already have invested some time in training her. Oh, yeah. I'm a Gen 6 diehard. Yeah, no, like, I know that Gen 6 has a lot of fans. A lot of fans. Oh, this does mean that for Gen 6, I wouldn't be using Mega Evolution. Like, at all, because none of the Gen 6 Pokemon have Mega Evolutions. So everyone talking about, oh man, I really hope that Mega Evolution can help me be better at battles, and I'm like, yup, You good luck with that. Yeah. I think I just got about every system that can play the mainline Sonic game. Oh, awesome! I learned about Nuzlocke from Jaden. Actually, her videos on it made me want to do one. Yeah, same here, same here. Like when I watched her videos, I already knew about Nuzlocke. But yeah, again, it was her and Salty DK Dan. In fact, like his idea of having like his friends be the different Pokemon, that was so cool. I wish I had enough friends to do that. Maybe a special rule? Megas are very cool. I mean, there is a loophole that I can do with Gen 6, which is, okay, so any Pokemon that I catch cannot be from outside the generation of the game that I'm playing. But here's the thing. In Gen 6, you do get 2 Pokemon that you don't catch. They are gifted to you. So I'm willing to guess that those are fair game. Hello, Jonathan. What's your self-imposed rules? Do new evolutions for old Mons count as new Mons? Can you catch an Eevee in Gen 6 if you plan to evolve it into Sylveon? Yes! Yes! Exactly. Exactly. If they have new evolutions, then they're also fair game. Oh yeah, man, Sprite comics. Ah, I remember when those were all the rage. Lucario loophole, exactly. Exactly. This is just so I can get a Lucario. You saw through me. Actually, no. Actually, no. I was perfectly fine with just benching the Pokemon that you get, but I do think that, yeah, no, at least one Mega Evolution. Come on. Does Pokemon XD count as a mainline Pokemon game? No. No, it's a spin-off, and it's from that's from the 3rd gen. That's your favorite Pokemon? Lucario. He's right there. See? There's a reason why I have a Lucario on my bed here. I keep flip-flopping between Lucario and Riolu, but I think that recently I have been like, okay, no, it's Lucario. Riolu is just a smaller Lucario. Remember when Pokemon deleted Portugal? I mean, I wouldn't say it deleted it. I more like assimilated it. Are you going to call your Lucario Knuckles? No. No, actually, you know, I like to name, he's just a plushie, Jonathan. Get your mind out of the gutter. Yeah, no, usually I name my Lucarios after mythological figures. Like, you know, how can I put this without being too obvious? I think that like I like to name my Lucario Anubis. Or Abyss. Okay, Jonathan. Okay, Jonathan, stop it. Stop it. And I do mean it. If you keep pursuing that line of thought, you're gonna be put on a timeout. That's a warning. The only one you get. Okay. Yeah, no, like, but that, yeah, that's what I that's what I like to do with my Lucarios. Name them all after mythological figures. I had one in a Pokemon Y run that was named Anko, which is basically a spirit that is supposed to be like it usually takes the shape of the last person that died in a certain community. It's like It's something from like Brittany, Bretagne, like in France. You know, from the Celtic leanings of that place. Yeah. Jane and Animations and Alpharet taught a lot about Pokemon. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I do. I hug them. Helps me sleep. Actually, I have one in real life, but he's so small that I'm afraid of like ruining him. Okay, that's okay, Jonathan. As long as you keep it. Hell yeah, Celts mentioned. Oh yeah, dude, I love Celtic stuff. Like, I know you can't see it much in my thing, like in my general like sort of look. In my general look, but there's also quite a bit of Celtic influence in my version of Atlantis. It's just not as visible as, you know, the Egyptian and Mesoamerican ones. Yeah, no, I think that Gen 5 is a good start. I haven't played it, but I have been recommended it by a lot of people. Like, it's a very good, like, it's like the keystone between classic Pokemon and modern Pokemon, I would say. It's very plus it's all tied up with a pretty good story. So like if you like RPGs, yeah, no, that's a very good. Speaking of Violet and Scarlet, I don't like them because they reduce the trainer customization. Oh yeah. You don't want to get me started on the school uniforms thing. Ugh. I think I'll save that for when I actually play it. Oh yeah, Robert has it right. Like, I would never recommend Gen 1 and Gen 2 to anyone who's getting into Pokemon now. Mostly because, you know, there's a lot about them that, like, we put up with it because there was nothing else. We didn't know any better, you know? But nowadays, looking back, oh man, we put up with a lot. I love the limited animation in this game. It's so charming. No, the limited 3D in this game is so charming. I love the charming in this game. It's so limited 3D. I mean, yeah, good story by Pokemon standards. I mean... yeah, those counts as being from the gens they were released in. Fire Red and Leaf Green are Gen 3. I would say, okay, if you want to get like the classic, you know, like if you want to get there from the beginning, but have a slightly easier time, I would say go with Fire Red and Leaf Green. Because they are very solid remakes. Like, I have issues with them, namely the fact that for a time, which coincidentally was also the time where anime was getting stupid with the continuity, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I was gonna say how much I don't like Red's design. I don't like Red's design in Fire Red and Leaf Green. I think that they changed his design way too much, to the point where people think it's a completely different character from the Red and Fire Red and Leaf Green, and that is just wrong, man. That is just wrong. I never felt that more when I fought N at the end of the game for the first time. It felt like a battle for the fate of the world, straight from Final Fantasy or something. And I've never played of those games. I never played any of those games. Yeah, like I was next to my brother while he was fighting. Well, not N, but the boss before that or after. I don't remember. Okay, so there's a boss that is not N, that is also like super important for the story, almost like a final boss. And And man, the amount of switching that he did to get a working strategy, man. I'm just gonna say this word. Mummy. Mummy saved the day that day. I just don't know if I'm gonna be able to have a Kafagrigus in my run, because that's gonna depend on whether the Yamask just jumps at me. Yeah, exactly. Black and White and their sequels. Which, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure if I'm gonna play Black and White 2 again. I still have to think about whether I'm going to like include remakes and like third versions. Not third versions, because that would be super redundant. But yeah, it's going to depend. It's going to depend. I still have to think about. Also, I'll ask you guys for input in the meantime. Like, you know, okay, so do you think that this is too much? Do you think that this is too little? Do you think that this is also important and should not be forgotten, etc., etc.? Yeah, I get that, Kirako. The only reason why I also kind of do that, it's because of, you know, merchandise. Like, for example, the figures. Like, for example, the figures and stuff. Like, I want a Leaf figure. I'm sorry, I want a Leaf figure. Yeah, my favorite trainer is Rosa. Out of all the player characters, she's so cute. Oh yeah, no, she is. She is. And then when Pokemon Masters EX came out and gave her, like, extra personality, yeah. Like, Nuzlocke's, okay. See, Barney, I never played a Pokemon game, and I've grown up with only Nintendo games. Oh, that is weird. What happened? That is indeed weird. I mean, sometimes the only thing that happens is that, you know, parents don't buy the games for their kids, so they don't even know that they exist. I want a Leaf figure. Gets a figure of a little leaf. Isn't there an amiibo of the Animal Crossing leaf? Because if there is, that makes it even funnier. Getsis destroyed my Nuzlocke run of Black and White 2, and it was just one Mon, Poison, and in Red Health. Oh, man. I had a Kafagrigus on my first team, actually. I named it Astronomia. Astronomia? After the Coffin Dance song. Oh, man, the Coffin Dance song it's so amazing. I like to think that Black and White 2 are just Pokemon Gray. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I kind of do too. Yeah, Black and White 2 are more akin to third versions, but with a different story, which is something that they've never done. But yeah, and the story is a follow-up to Black and White. Yeah, there's only one problem with that. Hi Zen, welcome. There's only a problem with the whole thing of, okay, yeah, the story being a follow-up to Black and White. Here's the thing. For this thing that I want to do, it does bring up the question. Okay, so do I actually follow the story, or do I just keep to my principles, stick to my guns, and just go like, oh yeah, this is just to see what's representative of this one gen. So like, if there's more than one game in the gen, I'm going to go with the first one, no questions asked. Honestly, I think that would be the simpler choice, but I feel like Red's design works best when he has at least some amount of Jotaro from JoJo in him. Especially in Gold and Silver, yeah. Oh, I'm still so angry about what they did to my boy in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. What did they do to Silver's design, man? What did they do to him? I think I've ranted about that before. The game sync makes the sequels a lot cooler, otherwise I'd take the originals. Oh, wait, yeah, the game sync. I think I still have that tab opened. It's been forever. Oh, no. No, it's gone. What's wrong with Silver's design in Heart Gold and Soul and Heart Gold and Soul Silver? Basically, okay, so Heart Gold and Soul Silver made a lot of design decisions that I am not a fan of, especially like in the character design. Like, they took things that I liked from the original designs and pretty much either erased them or changed them into something that I don't like as much. The biggest offenders, in my opinion, my thoughts are Silver, Jasmine, and Morty. And Morty is not the worst. Like, no. Like, okay, no, forget I said Morty. But yeah, no, Silver and Jasmine. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about Silver's design. One of the reasons why I loved his design was because, well, first, his hair kind of looked unkempt, which makes sense if he's been living away from home for a while. And like they made it too slick. In fact, no, that's the whole issue. I liked how rough Silver used to look, like, and how that contrasted a little bit with what you learn about him later. I mean, granted, you didn't learn anything about that in the actual Gold and Silver games. The first clue that you got to that was with Fire Red and Leaf Green. But I liked how rough Silver looked, and they pretty much just like, okay, so baggy hoodie type thing without a hoodie, like baggy sweater, gone. High boots, high sneaker type boots that I thought were really cool. I love that type of shoe. I want to see if I can get some for me. I had ones that lasted me for like 15 years, but they're ruined now. I can't use them anymore. So yeah, and I've been trying to find some like that, but and and the pants, baggy pants tucked into the boots. Like, I loved everything about how he looked. And then they went and made him like into, I don't know, a pseudo Ikemen? Kind of? Like, they slimmed down the pants, they slimmed down the shirt, they made it a weird design that I don't really understand. Like, the other design was simple and you could understand what it was supposed to be. Like, he was supposed to have, pockets. Like, So yeah. So yeah, and then the shoes. Like, they're just random generic shoes with like whatever design on it. They're not even sneakers. They're not even boots. Like, Like, what's wrong? What's wrong with you, man? So yeah. So yeah, that's my biggest, like, I still like Silver as a character, but man, what did they do to his design? And the worst part is, they completely forgot that Silver existed for a very long time. Like, if you liked Silver, if he was like your favorite character in the Pokemon franchise, people would look at you funny, like, who the frick is that? But yeah, and then there's another one, which is Jasmine, which, like, they ditched the sundress, the flowy sundress for, the pencil skirt, and I'm like, I hate pencil skirts. Standard issue non-disclosed shoes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that makes sense, Barney. Well, I'm sorry for you. Okay, bye Star Quartz. I don't know if he's still here. Dang it. Atari, I just had a horrible premonition in your red, blue / green Nuzlocke. Blue gets a random crit on you and the first fight ends the Nuzlocke right there. I mean, look. I don't want to have to impose that rule, but let me. Oh man. Okay, so if that actually happened, what do you guys think I should do? Should I go straight to silver, or like, should I go straight to silver, or should I just start again? Oh man. But you're also sure. You're also right. It would be amazing content for a clip. Oh yeah, the Pokemaniacs. 100%. There's like a lot of Gen 3 redesigns. I can't put my finger on why though. I think it's because they're a little bit less genuine. Oh, a pencil skirt is a skirt that is tight. Like, you know, it's a tight skirt. Like, usually pencil skirts are knee length, and they're like tied to the body, you know? Yeah, they just feel a little bit too modernized, if that makes sense. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't have a lot of problems with most redesigns in ORAS, you know, an Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, because in those, most of the time I do feel like they emphasize the right parts of the designs instead of, you know, just making stuff up. Like, for example, oh right, another one that I absolutely despise the redesign of is Sabrina in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I thought those are the skirts that go out. No, those are like maxi skirts, if I'm not mistaken. Office lady skirt. Yeah, exactly. If it makes it easier to visualize, yeah, that's what they look like. Yeah, no, I mean, that's a very good introduction to Pokemon. Even if Jaden doesn't like Pokemon Sun, I'm kind of sad about that. But then again, I don't really know what she expects of a Pokemon game. I know that like these things are a little bit complicated because everyone expects different things from their entertainment, especially when it's like franchises. Like, you get into it for completely different reasons. I dislike most of Horus's designs. The villain teams especially. The RSC ones were perhaps boring, but still had clear themes and good, simple designs. I mean, yeah, no, like, I'm in the camp that I like both, in that regard. Like, I do like them more than the Heart Gold Soul Silver ones. I can't lie. But yeah. As for Aura's redesigns, I definitely prefer. I think I prefer Shelly's original look, Ginger. You know, you said Shelly, and my VTuber brain. Wow, that's an expression. My VTuber brain rot went immediately to Shy Lily, and I was like, what? Why is he talking about Shy Lily's design when we're talking about Pokemon redesigns? This is weird. I mean, I know that when she changed models that it was kind of a hot topic. Oh, I prefer the old model, I like the new model, and I'm like, yeah, no, I like both, but I definitely prefer the first one. Oh man, if Shy Lily ever interacts with me, that'll be the day. Hi, Kirby girl. I've been pretty good. Very busy. Very, very busy. In fact, I should, but okay. Age probably matters. I was young playing Gen 6. Oh yeah, no, like the age that you are when you get into Pokemon also matters a whole lot. Okay. To date to date things a little. Let's put it like this: when Pokemon got to Portugal, when I was there, I was already a preteen. We're talking in 1999. I was already a preteen when Pokemon came out. When Pokemon came out in Portugal, Pokemon was one of those things. Pokemon was one of those things that I experienced as I was growing up, and as people kept telling me that I couldn't like it, I couldn't I couldn't like it, I couldn't enjoy it. I had to get rid of it because I was becoming older. And older kids don't play video games, they don't watch cartoons anymore. So you have to stop, and it's an obsession, and you can't. Totally productive work stream right here, Atari. Yes, 100% productive. Oh man. Shelly, I think they particularly changed too much. Oh yeah. Age mattering with Pokemon is basically why Gen 1ers exist. Yeah, no, like like I could totally be a Gen 1er. Like if I wanted to, I could be like, oh, everything was better in my day when we didn't have experience share, and the Rotom phones were something that nobody thought. What even is a Rotom? I only know Voltorb. Can you put a Voltorb in a phone? I don't think you can. I tried jamming my one into my Nokia 3310, and I can't. Oh man. Hey Laketh. Yeah, no, I didn't work for very long. It very quickly devolved. It very quickly devolved into just a Zatsu. Yeah, I have never stopped watching cartoons at any age. Yeah, no, like, I realized way too late, actually, that it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, because you get to an age, and I'm talking about experiences from my performer, not me, Atari, the character, because I'm still only 14, but I am a very old soul. I know how that is. The Voltom self-destructed, but the Nokia was just fine. Ah, fantastic Gen 1er impression. Thank you. But but yeah, when you get to a certain age, you realize that nobody really cares. In fact, some people are even going to find it interesting that you like those things. I mean, there's also been a resurgence. It's been generally become more accepted to, like, nerdy stuff. I mean, now you get entire areas in specialty stores, in appliances stores and stuff, just dedicated to merchandise for nerd stuff. So is Atari an example of the 1,000-year-old being in a child's body trope then? Okay. I have thought about that. Honestly. And the reason why I still haven't gone forward with that idea is because I'm like, oh man, is this too tropey? Is this too cliche? Should I think about it in a different way? Should I think about it in a different way? Should I Should I just get rid of that because because it's too it's too many people have done it. Like I have thought of that. I have thought of that. But yeah, would explain Atari's hair color. Oh wait, no. The hair color. The hair color. All Atlanteans have this hair color. Oh, fun fact: my eyes were not always blue. They're only blue because since becoming a shaman, I have been infused with energy from the Ifi Mehaya, which is the Eye of Tides, which is the jewel thing that powers the entirety of Atlantis. That's just because I became a shaman. Like all shamans, most shamans, who are not in training anymore, who are actually like active, they have blue eyes. But my eye color originally was brown. Don't be too afraid if something is too cliche. If you like it, then do it. Yeah. No, that's a mindset. That's a mindset that I really need to keep in my brain. Keep in my brain. I meant it in the meta way. An old woman role playing as a young teen, not in a literal way in universe. Oh. A better version of that trope, in my opinion, is I'm 1400 years old, which in human years is 14, give or take. I have thought about that one too, and that's because of the way that I want Atlantis to be, which I'm trying to keep under wraps because I still want to write like a whole book, and I still want to make like a lore video someday. But yeah. I mean, okay, if the kayfabe can come off, well, not exactly the kayfabe because, like, I'm still a character. I'm still being performed. I'm still being performed by this lady, and the lady in question, she's not that old. She's not that old. I mean, she is older than what I think the average age for VTubers is, or at least the more visible ones. But to give you an idea, my performer was born. I like to put it this way: she was born before the Disney Renaissance, but not before Michael Eisner took over as CEO of Disney. That should give you like a window of like how old she is. You must peek into the secrets of Atlantis, guys. Oh yeah, you're definitely gonna do that because that book is something that I want to write. I really want to write it. The only reason why I haven't even thought about it and why about like the only reason why I haven't been able to even think about like crystallizing the lore, especially like the background stuff, is because I haven't had time. I haven't had time because stuff is still way up in the air. I remember your vague allusions to the lady's age from the Archie comic covers video, something about Disney. Yeah, no, like I like to use Disney as a barometer because they've been around for so long that you can pretty much. I think we're basically the same age based on what you're saying. Haha. Haha. I mean, one thing that I can definitely 100% tell you, and that is not giving away any super personal information, is that she's a millennial. She's Gen Y. That's like basic stuff. I think VTubers vary in age. I don't think one could be too old to be a VTuber. Yeah, no, I think the same thing. It's just, observing how a lot of VTubers act and a lot of what their references are. I tend to think that they're not as old as my performer. Like, there's definitely some who are as old or even older than she is, but a lot of them, like for example, we talked about Jade and animations. I would put most VTubers at around her age, like 25 and up, like between 25 and 30. Like for example, when she says that her first game was Ruby, Yeah, it was Ruby. I'm like, oh hey, that is interesting. I was already playing Pokemon by then. Millennial meaning 1,000 years old. Yes, exactly. No, we'll see. I think some of Hololife's talent may be older than your pilot. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that too. I've heard that too. I like VTubing because anyone of any age can do it. Not minors though. That puts them in danger. Yes, 100%. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, Elmer. I've seen granny VTubers. That is so cool. That is so cool. That like, yeah, no matter your age, you can still be a VTuber. Unless you're a minor. In that case, I don't think they're ready for the kind of stuff that you have to juggle when when you do this kind of thing. I must say I don't understand. Exactly, Kirako. Exactly. I don't understand these gens and the gens naming conventions. Like, I understood up until a certain point. Adults of all ages, yeah. I understood up until, like, baby boomers. Baby boomers were called baby boomers because there was, well, there were not babies going boom, as Gumball would put it, but there was an increase in fertility rates across the board when World War II ended. So yeah, it makes sense. There was a boom, so they're baby boomers. There was a boom of babies, so they're baby boomers. I don't understand Gen X. I don't know where that X came from. Millennials, I understand better because they were the ones who grew up with the internet for the first time. Like, even if you were like on the older side of millennials, by the time that by the time that 99 rolled around, you were like 18. So you already grew up in a world where computers were, a lot more present, and you were becoming of age when the internet became widely available. So yeah. And it was the turn of the millennium. You were turning 18 at the turn of the millennium. So hence millennial. Gen Z, it was because some people also call millennials Generation Y, and Generation Y is Generation Y because it's after Gen X, and I don't understand. I don't understand why Gen X is Gen X. Probably. I think it started with Gen X because the letter X was considered cool back then. Then Gen Y is a generation after that. Z after that. Alpha, because they ran out of the alphabet. It's dumb. Yep. I mean, technically, there were two kinds of booms. I mean, yeah. One caused less deaths than the other. In fact, the other one caused the opposite of death. It caused births. But yeah, no, I don't understand. And like, I don't think that people are gonna come up with a nickname for Gen Alpha. At least not that quickly, because Gen Alpha just rolls off the tongue. Like, Gen Z and Zoomer are also, easier to say. Gen X, again, X has always been like considered the cool letter. The other boom causes death and my brain cells got lost at the bus station, at the bus stop a while ago. I got lost. Oh no, Maiden! No! Man, when was the last time I saw someone use the nt joke? That meme died a while ago, it seems. I mean, if I can mention taking arrows to the knee, I think that anyone is welcome to mention any memes, no matter how old they are. By the way, yeah, the other boom happened because someone set up them the bomb. If X is cooler, would more X's be even cooler? I mean, more X's usually means something else. Zoomer sounds cringe to me for some reason. I mean, I had a moment of realization. Okay, so I was playing Jak and Daxter, you know, the original one. And yeah, there's literally a vehicle called the Zoomer. In fact, there's a clip on my channel because that actually led to a pretty funny exchange between me and chat. So like after we're done here, you can go and watch it. That's from back when I was still a PNG drawn by myself. Over 9,000, yeah. That's a classic. Do they have memes in Atlantis? I mean, yeah, we have our own memes. We have our own memes. Not that I would know a lot about them, at least not yet, because I have been a little bit stuck. I haven't been a little bit stuck for the time being, especially with trying to get my apartment in the city furnished. Take an arrow to the knee is a marriage proposal thing, although you probably knew that. I mean, yeah, what I'm talking about is the Elder Scrolls thing. You know, the meme that died almost as soon as it started? That's what I find funny about that meme. Just dunk on land dwellers, yeah. Haha, did you know that on land they sometimes live on trees? Dude, we also have a town that does that. Oh, really? Oh, well. Actually, yeah. I do have like a map. I do have a map of Atlantis that I still want to develop a little bit more. In fact, maybe just to finish off, man. I really didn't work almost anything. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. I still have tomorrow. Gonna show you something neat. Image. Oh, it's a rental. I have nowhere near enough money to actually buy an apartment. Man, I wish. I also wish that I could treat streaming as an actual part-time job and not having to set it aside for everything else that I have to do. Because that was not the intent! This was supposed to be my third part-time job. Where is it? Okay. Is it here? Show me the pictures, man. Oh wait, no. Okay, this one's still old. This one still uses the old name. This one still uses the old name, but it's what I got. Okay. So, this is the island of Atlantis. So yeah, I'm wishing you best of luck with your lore development and would love to see the lore video one day. No rush though. Take your time. Yeah, no. I'm not. I'm not trying to like make things, you know, like super quick because I know that that's just gonna end in disaster. Homeless, just buy a house. It's easy. It's super easy. But yeah, you have money to rent an apartment. Oh yeah. But yeah. So if you're wondering. If you're wondering, so up there, I don't remember how many kilometers, how many miles up, but the Azores are somewhere like over there, up there. And to this side, you have Cape Verde. Highly scuffed Risol. Yeah, no, that's kind of what it looks. That's kind of what it looks. But actually, okay, so, oh right, you probably noticed. Okay, so there's a little island here as well. So yeah, that Atlantis is not actually an island. It's more like an archipelago. And this thing, you don't usually see it on maps. I mean, because obviously, why would a fictional place be in an actual cartography, an actual map? Okay, so if you search for the Great Meteor Table Mount, you will get something that kind of looks like this, except this has relief, and this is also not accurate. Like the general shape of the island is accurate, but you know the inside is not. Was Poseidon too distracted to make a land bridge? Probably. Probably. He has storms to take care of and horses. But yeah, in fact, if I kind of wanted to show you. Something, but I don't think that I'm gonna be able to without doxing myself. So, yeah, no, that's gonna have to wait. That's gonna have to wait. So yeah, this is just to give you a little bit of an idea. And again, ignore the name. This is according to this is an old name for Atlantis. He had to deal with Odysseus. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, guys. I think that I'm going to bounce for now. I'm gonna take the chance to have an earlier dinner, and I'm going to just power through this whole work thing throughout the rest of the night and tomorrow. Again, I just really did not want to leave you without a stream this week again, because I've done that so many times. Nah, that's fine, Elmer. That's fine. Congrats on completing your first work stream. Yes, fish and mailed. Question: if your pilot had a plug suit, what color would it be? Pink? That's her favorite color. It's one of my favorite colors as well. Yeah. No, I'm gonna try to not get distracted. Okay. Yeah, you remember the illustrious Mari Makinami? Yeah. Yeah, kind of like that, except like if she could design her own plug suit, it would not look like the Evangelion plug suits. I can tell you that. Okay, guys. Well, gonna do the send off as usual. No matter. Whether you're watching this live, or the VOD, or a lurker, or a member that's just happened to not be able to show up, know that your presence is always appreciated. and see you soon. Or, as they say in Atlantis, Ekabe! Bye! Yes! And I will suffer the consequences of my actions. I'll keep you posted. Ekabe!